Good morning and welcome to News Morning here on TV3. I am Enyunam Halika. Let's take a look at our headlines. Medina police pick up woman alleged to be involved in the sale of unauthorized chemicals used to ripen plantains and bananas at various market centers. Also, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association warns members against illegal overseas recruitment agencies amid rising exploitation risk. And much later, the minority accuses Gold Board of gross incompetence for what it says 22 billion cedis losses. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll start off on rather unfortunate news where the Nkwantanan Medina Municipal Assembly, with the support of the Medina Police Station and the Assembly's Environmental Health Unit, have arrested a woman alleged to be involved in the sale of unauthorized chemicals used to ripen bananas and plantains. The Municipal Chief Executive says the Assembly will conduct an extensive search of the market and identify and arrest those involved in the sale and use of unapproved substances. Joseph Armstrong has the rest of the story.
On Wednesday, August 12th, the Medina Lankwantana Municipal Assembly engaged traders at the Medina market as part of efforts to identify and address their concerns. During the engagement, some traders raised health concerns over the alleged use of unapproved substances by some traders to ripen farm produce. Following the concerns, the Assembly's Environmental Health Unit, with support from the Medina Police, stormed the market on Tuesday, August 17. One woman, whose name is being withheld, was identified as allegedly being involved in the sale of the unapproved substances.
When was the last time I was shabby?
What's that? Yes, shabby no. Oh. So if we die, she and now almost will be a mechanic here, no, and no can if you are, you be
I don't know.
I don't know. What's that?
Oh,
so if you will be on your beam,
I don't inside.
I know I call
I went from side.
A bewar, aha. Mamma, blah, 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 one make us tell you.
Earlier, we spoke with the woman who allegedly is involved in selling of these chemical in ripening plantain, and she denied. But a search by the Ghana Police Service from the Medina police station has seen these chemicals. So far, 4 of them have been picked up by the Ghana Police, and they are still conducting more search to see if they can get more of these chemicals within.
We are doing this exercise collaboration with the FDA. So they joined us last last Thursday. We came here, disguised ourselves. We bought some of the chemicals. They've taken some. They have some of the plantain that they are doing the distance. I believe they have even given a statement. So I think we'll leave it for FDA.
But you mean they've taken samples already?
Yes, please.
The woman was subsequently taken away by the police for further questioning and investigations. Some traders who spoke to us said the use of such substances is not limited to the Medina market. They are therefore calling on the Assembly and the Food and Drugs Authority to intensify monitoring and take proactive measures to prevent the practice. The trader who first raised the alarm over the use of the substance spoke with the news team.
You shouldn't sit, I can't say, in office alone. You should go to the farm. If you really care about agriculture, someone in the market now put fear and panic in us.
You see this with fear and panic?
Yes, because you are coming with policewoman. The policewoman will be a
But you were not picked up. It was only one person that they identified and they picked up.
I wasn't picked up, but a woman in the way it means also woman who are asheno. The way I'm asking the question is no choice.
Does she sell the chemicals?
She was panicking.
Does she sell the chemicals you're talking about? Does she sell
that one I don't know.
You are here with it. You sell plantain yourself.
I sell plantain.
What do you use in ripening your plantain?
I use condo.
The municipal chief executive of the Madina Lankwantena Municipal Assembly, Ibrahim Faila, says the assembly will undertake a major search of the market.
I have even also directed our environmental units. They should take immediate action and arrest the persons involved in this particular action. We are going to make sure that all of them, wherever they are selling this chemical within Lankwantana Madina Municipal Assembly, the person will be arrested. In fact, it's going to be cancelled in Madina.
Fala has also called for calm among traders, urging them to avoid actions that could create fear and panic among the public. The Food and Drug Authority has also issued a statement assuring the public that measures are being taken to address the situation. Joseph Armstrong, Good TV3, Madina Market, Accra.
Now, away from that, the police personnel from the Police Intelligence Directorate and the operation team codenamed Black Cobra have seized about 500 cartons of assorted brands of Tramadol in the operation at Windan in the Upper East region. The operation was conducted at about Tuesday, August 18, 2026, following a month-long intelligence gathering exercise into the activities of the suspected drug dealers in the area. According to the Upper East Regional Police Command, the team recovered the suspected illicit drugs from a privately owned warehouse and some individual residents during the operations. And we're going to the health sector, where the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association is warning its members against the use of illegal recruitment agencies to seek employment abroad. The association says the growing trend is leaving some Ghanaian midwives and nurses vulnerable to exploitation, abuse, and unfair treatment in destination countries.
According to the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, more nurses and midwives are leaving the country in search of better opportunities abroad. The numbers paint a worrying picture. In 2025, more than 10,000 Ghanaian nurses and midwives reportedly immigrated. And the association says the exodus continues, with between 200 and 400 nurses and midwives leaving the country every month. So far, in 2026, between January and August, about 1,000 nurses and midwives have already immigrated. But while they live in search of better opportunities, those who remain behind are carrying an increasingly heavy burden. With fewer hands available in hospitals and health facilities, the workload and pressure on the existing workforce continue to rise. President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetual Foriampofo, says the situation has become overwhelming.
Larger side of the impact of migration on our health systems, we know what our colleagues are facing. The workload is increasing. They are getting burnt out. Burnt out, you may not even know that you are burning out, but the way you approach issues, the way you are able to think through issues becomes affected, and it does not augur well for the patients that we are taking care of. So it's important that our employer also looks at it. The Ministry of Health looks at getting more hands to come and help us in our work.
The association is also raising concerns about bilateral agreements Ghana has signed with some foreign countries to facilitate the recruitment of health professionals.
When the agreement is signed, unlike other countries that if you want to see the agreement, it is even online. When you type bilateral agreement between Philippines and the UK, bilateral agreement between UK and Kenya, or bilateral agreement between you will see it online. Ghana, you will ask and ask and ask. The agreement will not be given to you.
Another concern is illegal recruitment, with some members using unlicensed recruitment agencies.
And therefore, the caution to our nurses and midwives is that don't just run along with any agency that presents opportunity to you to go work abroad. You must run that agency with your professional organization. At least we have the links to verify if an agency is an authentic one or not. We can help you.
Meanwhile, more than 80,000 nurses and midwives are currently awaiting posting, according to the association. It is therefore appealing to the Ministry of Finance to release the needed financial clearance to enable their deployment.
Let's move on to some other stories now. As just weeks after some operators at the Laboma Beach were given a 21-day ultimatum to address structures within the Kpeshie Lagoon enclave. They now engage in government in a collaborative effort to restore the waterway. The intervention forms part of broader efforts to improve drainage and reduce the risk of flooding in Accra.
When torrential rains battered part of Greater Accra in June, several communities were left submerged. The flooding renewed concerns about poor drainage, choked waterways, and development believed to be obstructing the natural flow of water. Attention later turned to the Kpeshie Lagoon at Laboma Beach, where authorities raised concerns about encroachment within the lagoon's buffer zone. On August 7, the Greater Accra Regional Security Council visited the area, marking some structures and issuing a 21-day ultimatum for the necessary action to be taken. Operators say they are working with government and other stakeholders to dredge sections of the Kpeshie Lagoon and improve the flow of water.
I'm in the process of collaborating with the Assembly where we would have water flowing from beyond, and I keep saying from beyond the bridge, because you just pan your camera, you realize that the water is stagnant beyond the bridge. So if it's beyond, if the stagnation is beyond the bridge, it means the impediment is beyond. After all, there's never been a situation where the street over there or that bridge has experienced flooding.
The dredging is expected to help clear accumulated silt and other materials that may be affecting the free flow of water through the lagoon and into the sea. But stakeholders say restoring the lagoon will require more than just dredging. They add it will depend on sustained maintenance, proper enforcement of building regulations, and collective commitment to protecting the waterway from further encroachment.
What you're seeing here today is not just our effort. Yes, we are leading it, but it is a joint effort you're seeing. It's Laboma Beach and the government running this very exercise. What is needed is to get the water flowing so that we will not have a repeat of what we all experienced. And if indeed that has been achieved, or that is being targeted, I don't see why the RCC would think of rescinding that very decision, and I'm sure they will take that into consideration. The fact that the job itself is on the waterway and the job is being executed.
For now, attention is on clearing the lagoon, but protecting it from future encroachment will be crucial to reducing the risk of flooding.
Now, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission says it is prepared to address concerns raised by the pre-tertiary teachers union over their conditions of service. But the commission wants the union to wait for the establishment of the Independent Public Monuments Commission, which it says will have to deal with a mandate with regards to issues relating to allowance. A report by Daniel Opokun.
Response: the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has urged the aggrieved unions to allow for the establishment of an independent public emoluments commission, which itself will be better positioned to address their concerns. The Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Dr. Smith Graham, says the proposed independent commission will have the mandate to resolve issues relating to allowances.
So we've engaged them, but they don't seem to understand. They want us to review holistically, and they are the only group left. We've negotiated with every union. They are the only group left. So
they are not happy with that decision.
We will engage them again next week, and from there we'll know exactly what will happen.
But the proposal has not gone down well with the teacher unions. For the Ghana National Association of Teachers (NAT), the uncertainty surrounding the proposed commission is also a major concern. Thomas Tanko-Musa is the General Secretary of NAT.
Look, are we saying that the laws of Ghana, because the Independent Emolument Commission is coming, so all the laws of Ghana are not working? The Constitution, Article 24(3), that say that workers are unions are created to seek and protect the interests, the economic and social. In all those things are not working again, because a baby called Independent Emolument Commission is going to be born. No.
The president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers (NAGRAT), Jacob Anaba, says the unions cannot suspend their demands while waiting for a commission whose establishment date is unknown.
As we speak, we are not sure when this Independent Emolument Commission will come into force. So for how long are the teachers going to wait for our continuous professional development allowance to be paid, our digital allowance to be paid, and our deprived area allowance to be paid? These are three critical issues that we have agreed on.
The unions insist they will maintain their September 7 deadline for industrial action unless concrete steps are taken to address their concerns.
We're taking you to Parliament now, where the minority has accused the Ghana Gold Board of gross incompetence, saying its operation contributed to the Bank of Ghana's negative equity position in 2025. The caucus says the claims the central bank recorded negative equity after Gold Board incurred losses amounting to 22 billion cedis from its operation. Minority leader Alexander Penyumarkin has called on Gold Board to account for the losses incurred through its gold trading operation instead of resorting to insults.
Fund's own numbers. The Bank of Ghana's equity stood at negative 93.8 billion cedis at the end of last year, negative 6.7% of GDP. Our central bank is technically bankrupt, therefore. And the single biggest driver of that collapse in the 2025 was gold operations, Gold Board. Gold Board's own domain, 22 billion cedis. That's equivalent of the 1.7 billion US dollars in 1 year alone. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it what it is. These losses are not bad luck. You don't trade in gold and make losses. They are not a difficult market. They expose the crass incompetence of Gold Board's management and misaligned policy of the government. No serious institution loses this much money by accident. This is what happens when an untouchable few are handed the nation's gold with no one watching and no one willing to ask questions. Gold Board must tell Ghanaians the following. 1. What prices were paid for gold? How were those prices determined? What premiums, if any, were paid to secure the supply? How were international off-takers selected? At what discounts were their gold sold? How much was earned by Gold Board in service and asset charges from transactions financed by Bank of Ghana? What commercial risk did Gold Board itself bear? What transactional risk were passed automatically to Bank of Ghana? What internal risk controls existed to protect the financier, the Bank of Ghana? What corrective measures were taken as losses accumulated? And most importantly, if Gold Board controlled critical part of the trading process, but Bank of Ghana absorbed losses, where precisely did commercial accountability reside? Any responsible government confronted with this 22 billion loss should immediately investigate whether the incentive structure encouraged excessive volumes, inadequate pricing discipline, or insufficient attention to trading costs. Majority, please, our motion is ready. We will file it before we get back next week, and we pray that you, the majority in Parliament, will fully cooperate with us, the minority. If government says there's no money to complete the Agenda 111 project, if government is still borrowing, yet it can find 22 billion, and this 22 billion, according to the IMF, is vanished into thin air. Sikana ira.
And that's our package for you this morning. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyonam Palianu. It continues after the break. Stay with us.
concert. My beauty course, so she was there. I saw her. Goddess was beautiful.
When I saw you on stage, I felt for you.
The girl missed.
I legit thought you were going to be at the concert.
And I should have
so when
been
I saw
there.
that you were on GMG,
I should have been there. Quick did I do a U-turn to come back because I had to be on stage for Ghana's most beautiful. And you know, Roland hasn't bought me the private jet yet. Because if I had the private jet,
you mean the toy one? You mean the toy one?
Yeah, not the toy one, the original one. I would have finished the show and then just flown back.
How do you use the toy
how
one?
do I fly? Yeah, you know, I could have just finished
one.
and
You mean the toy one?
Yeah, but unfortunately,
yeah, but it's good that at least it was a very successful show. Nonetheless, we have I say our top 5 musicians of Ghana in no particular order because I don't want any trouble. SM Beam, Black Sheriff, Sarkodie, and then the rest, you know.
Samini.
There's all those Kovna, the top ones in there as well.
All of them and still be okay.
He supports all of them? Of course.
Now, for me, I love Stonebwoy. I love SM for life, so... But my friend Zil is doing, who lives in the UK, doesn't want to believe me. He thinks that I'm biased.
And that's what people think of me too. You know, Stonebwoy is family to me. He's like, he is a brother. I was even on Snapchat with him, video calling right after the show. But I do love other musicians as well. I love my Kitty, my Black Sherry. Of course.
You love Kim Paluta.
I love Kim Paluta. I love my Kim Paluta. And I love Ghana music. I love music in general, but I love Ghana music. And I don't think that there should be any segregation or anything that if you're an SM fan, you cannot love Stonebwoy's music, or if you love Stonebwoy's music, you can't love Shatawale's music, or you belong to only Black Sheriff or only Kim Paluta. If we're doing that, how would we enjoy good music?
It's the Stonebwoy and the Shatta fans. They feel like if you belong to Shatta, then stay there. But you know, it's all for show because you know, in our rooms, in the clubs, when you go out, you go to parties. When the music plays,
even the musicians themselves, they vibe to each other's songs. So
it's just all for banter on social media.
But I've never seen a video of Shatta vibing to any song, but the video will vibe to maybe Black Sheriff.
Yes.
But Shatta Wale, wherever you are, good morning to you. It's the birthday of Delight. Delight, you're celebrating your birthday. I gave you a 24-hour clock, so now the day is to be marked, and I wish you awesome celebrations today, and we'll be marking it with some great pictures. The photo shoot today, Charlie. So because of that, we're giving cash out. Cash out.
Well, the cash money cookie is back, and in no time, you would realize that a few things are going to be changing. The amounts are going to change. The number of people who get it is also going to change. A lot of things are going to change. But in the meantime, you can still dial *439#. And I'm told that 500 Ghana cedis is going to about, how many people today? 3 people today. But now that cash money cookie is back, be on the lookout for bigger and better amounts to a lot more people and a lot more engagements. Please be on the lookout for that one. I brought goodies with me, and I'll make sure that you get all of it. Now,
cash money.
Cash money filter.
Shami natural.
This morning, I want to send a special shout out to you because I'm not seated close to you.
Okay.
You are amazing at what you do when it comes to theater.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving Esiedua that platform to shine. She has really shone. We are all very, very happy, and I am indebted to you.
Oh, no.
I'm super grateful to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So now rang me up one day and said, listen, Cookie, I have this script, and I think that I want Esiedua to try her hands on it, but I need your permission. I need your blessing.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay, go ahead. Let's see what happens. And now the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now he's an amazing human being.
I love it. Yes.
But me didn't chair mimba. Because I haven't been on stage in a very long time.
And as a trained theater practitioner, the industry is missing your talent.
I'm coming.
You should come back on stage.
I'll come. Ken Fiati, good morning to you. Ken Fiati has been on my tail. He's been calling me every day. Ken Fiati,
I haven't heard anyone pronounce his name correctly in so long.
Ken Fiati.
So when you said Fiati, I was like,
yeah, they will say it the other way around. And it's too early for morning TV.
We can't say it on TV.
Yeah, we can't say it on TV.
Right.
Well, catch me filter.
Shami natural.
Well, so Godboard has been trending. And so we're not going to take pictures with the Goldboard CEO with filters, right? And the minority has been on the neck of the Goldboard CEO, that's Sami Jemfi, also a lawyer as well. And the main concern has been about Goldboard losses, and they say the attribution when it comes to what really should be inventoried should not be attributed or just, again, given to the Bank of Ghana, but rather these specific losses are due to the transactional cost, as well as other related losses by Gold Board itself. But we have a counter-argument also trumpeted by Gold Board and the CEO itself that said it's only trading the gold for the Bank of Ghana and then paid fees subsequently as a result of that. A lot of individuals, including those in academia, the analysts, etc., have weighed into the debate. So today we're going to have a squad to do justice to it. Zato will be in the studio. We have Solomon as well. Dr. Isa is also going to be in the studio. And then certainly we're going to have some great discussions this morning to also do justice to it, as Aaron Esidu Enchi also comes into the studio to also help us do the debate. But when you are thinking about gold, you're thinking about food,
exactly,
contamination and all that.
Just before that, you know there's a press conference today, right? Hosted by the Gold Board, and it's about the state of the Gold Board and the perils it poses to Ghana's economy.
Yeah.
So today we'll be listening to the minorities press conference.
That was yesterday. I
Oh,
think.
that was yesterday. But today is the one by accountability series.
Exactly.
Yes, the one by Gold Board today. So be on the lookout for that one. We'll bring you all the fallouts tomorrow. Or I'm sure later with the evening bulletins or even the afternoon bulletin, depending on how early it comes. We'll let you know what the fallout.
And you know, I mean, I'm excited about the steps being taken by the FDA when it comes to the contamination of our foods, because I saw that video of the banana and the women talking about people using chemicals just to ripen the bananas or the plantains very early. I mean, beyond the natural period that is supposed to. And that's quite dangerous. I think before we came on air, I was telling you ladies about turkey berry, what you normally call abedru or konsusua. Exactly. I bought some and I was going to, because I use it for food a lot. And normally when I boil, the water is a lot, I drink it. It looked very funny. It was a green, some funny color.
Okay.
I kept the rest in the fridge. And when I woke up the next morning, it had turned purple.
Purple.
Purple,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what she said.
And I mean, it's the first time I've experienced that, because this is something
Abedru.
that...
Abedru, which is supposed to be green.
And you drank the stock.
So the first one, I drank it. It was just
sauce.
a little, but I wasn't too sure, because I thought maybe because I just took it out, took it off the fire and stuff, and I left the rest thinking that I would take it the next day, and it had turned purple.
Whoa.
And it's the first time that it's happened to me. This is something that if you live in a place where the land is very fertile, it just, grows like that, and you just take it. And I've never experienced this. So I don't know whether it was how it was grown, or really they put some spray on it, and I think that is something that the FDA also needs to look at it. Turning something that normally when you take it off fire, the stalk, you get brownish green.
Among all the arguments of contamination, abedru.
Yes,
abedru.
Yes,
abedru.
Well,
abedru.
And I still have the
you didn't drink the stock.
I drank a bit of it, and because it was a lot, I said I would take the next one the next day, and I'm happy that I didn't take all of it. I still have the raw one in the freezer. The rest of it, I'm not going to use it, but really, it's
you know what they say
worrying.
when you go when you travel elsewhere to the West, among other things. One of the things that we pride ourselves of as Ghanaians is the fact that we have organic food.
Yes.
And our friends abroad will tell you, you don't know how blessed you are that you have so much organic food everywhere.
That's true.
And now in Ghana, we're told that some of the very common foods we eat are contaminated because between the farmers and the sellers, there's a use of chemicals to ripen the fruits, especially quickly, so that they are put on the market at a sooner time than they originally would have. And this now includes bananas. Now, I buy bananas all the time because I work out.
Every day.
So, so I eat bananas.
I love my
because
bananas
of
and
the
bananas.
high energy that it gives you.
Yes.
Because I don't like to take pre-workouts and protein shakes and so on. Now, I always say I want to local.
Yes.
The local bananas, because there's the local bananas, and then they say foreign.
Yes.
All right.
The yellow longer ones.
The bigger ones. Now we're told that the bananas, some sellers have been found to use chemicals to ripen them. In fact, one person has been picked up, and the information is still trickling in as to what exactly is happening. But if you're watching us this morning and you buy fruits, vegetables, and now Beatrice is telling us about
abedru.
Which is one of the very
commonest.
It's so common and it grows by itself.
Yes.
And it really does not need any chemical support to grow. It just springs up. Even that now appears to have been affected by this canker. If you buy fruits and vegetables and you heard the news story that we put out yesterday, we're going to bring it to you again. Let us hear from you. But before that, Beatrice, if you could just give us exactly what happened in the Madina Lankwantana
Indeed, yes.
Assembly.
And the Municipal Assembly, of course, with support from the Food and Drugs Authority, has taken steps to ensure that they are able to deal with this very canker. And of course, it's also included the Madina Police and the Assembly's Environmental Health Unit. And they have arrested a woman, like you just said, alleged to be involved in the sale of unapproved chemicals used to ripen bananas and plantains. Now, the Municipal Chief Executive says that the Assembly will conduct an extensive search of the market to identify and arrest persons involved in the sale and use of unapproved substances. Let's watch this report sent in by our colleague Joseph Armstrong Gold Alobi.
On Wednesday, August 12th, the Madina Lankwantana Municipal Assembly engaged traders at the Madina market as part of efforts to identify and address their concerns. During the engagement, some traders raised health concerns over the alleged use of unapproved substances by some traders to ripen farm produce. Following the concerns, the Assembly's Environmental Health Unit, with support from the Madina Police, stormed the market on Tuesday, August 17. One woman, whose name is being withheld, was identified as allegedly being involved in the sale of the unapproved substances.
When was the last time I was Shebi?
Ose, Shebi no. Oh, say if you die, you na almost will be a mechanic here no. And no can if you are, you
na edrone bi wan.
Edrone.
E be se won si ati.
Ose.
E be se won si edrone ti.
Oh, say fi ho bi anya biem.
Edrone inside.
Ya wa no akọ ho akoto.
E wo inside.
E bi wo aha.
Ma me bla 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 hwe. Wa me ka se dey wi ya. Hey, serious.
Earlier, we spoke with the woman who allegedly is involved in selling of these chemical in ripening plantain, and she denied. But a search by the Ghana Police Service from the Madina police station has seen these chemicals. So far, 4 of them have been picked up by the Ghana Police, and they are still conducting more search to see if they can get more of these chemicals within.
We are doing this exercise collaboration with the FDA. So they joined us last last Thursday. We came here, disguised ourselves. We bought some of the chemicals. They've taken some. They have some of the plantain that they are doing the distance. I believe they have even given a statement. So I think we'll leave it for FDA.
But you mean they've taken samples already?
Yes, please.
The woman was subsequently taken away by the police for further questioning and investigations. Some traders who spoke to us said the use of such substances is not limited to the Madina market. They are therefore calling on the Assembly and the Food and Drugs Authority to intensify monitoring and take proactive measures to prevent the practice. The trader who first raised the alarm over the use of the substance spoke with the news team.
You shouldn't sit I can't say in office alone. You should go to the farm. If you really care about agriculture, someone in the market now put fear and panic in us.
You see this with fear and panic?
Yes, because you are coming with policewoman. The policewoman will be who.
But you were not picked up. It was only one person that they identified and they picked up.
I wasn't picked up, but a woman in the way it means also woman who are asheno. There are more questions, no chance.
Does she sell the chemicals?
She was panicking.
Does she sell the chemicals you're talking about? Does she sell them?
That one I don't know.
You are here with it. You sell plantain yourself.
I don't. I sell plantain.
What do you use in ripening your plantain?
I use condo.
The Municipal Chief Executive of the Madina Lankwantana Municipal Assembly, Ibrahim Faila, says the Assembly will undertake a major search of the market.
I have even also directed our environmental units. They should take immediate action and arrest the persons involved in this particular action. We are going to make sure that all of them, wherever they are selling this chemical within Lankwantana Madina Municipal Assembly, the person will be arrested. In fact, it's going to be cancelled in Madina.
Fala has also called for calm among traders, urging them to avoid actions that could create fear and panic among the public. The Food and Drug Authority has also issued a statement assuring the public that measures are being taken to address the situation. Joseph Armstrong, Good TV3, Madina Market, Accra.
Welcome back. This is still TV3 Newday, and this morning, of course, I'm here with the Daughters of Glory Jesus, as Roland mentioned earlier. But yeah, seriously, we are discussing something which is very important to all of you, because you may think that you probably have the money and you can probably import food and all of that. But how about when it comes to our local delicacies? Because we know that you like your brodian Kpeshie and kontomire. We know that you love your tomato stew. We know that you like your nkatenkwan, abenkwan, and all of that. But with the recent surge in food contamination and adulteration that we are seeing on the market, it's very imperative that we have this conversation this morning about how safe the food you buy or the farm produce you buy from the market is for your consumption. Yesterday, we saw a report on the news by Joseph Armstrong Gold Alogbe. And before we get into that discussion, I think it's been played already, correct? We've gone into it already.
Yes.
And Beatrice, you are by the dashboard.
Yes.
We have messages already. Okay, you may want to read a few of them as we ready ourselves to have a conversation with Yakubu Adams, who is a toxicologist, about how safe farm produce are on the market. Okay, I'm told that he has already joined us on the telephone lines. Hello, good morning to you, Yakubu Adams. If you can hear us, please respond.
Good morning, Cookie.
You may want to raise your voice a little bit because I think it's a little on the downside.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Good morning, Cookie.
Yes, good morning. Yeah. I can hear you now. Now, let's get things into perspective. We do know, even through food science or the little that we learned in school, that not all chemicals are harmful. Of course, there are good ones that are used for consumption and then food preservation as well. But in this instance, give us some education. Which one is good, which one is not, and why are our market women finding the need to contaminate some of these farm produce for us to buy? What's causing it?
Thank you very much, Cookie. Good morning to you and your other panel members and also viewers and listeners. Now, when it comes to adulteration in food, it's all driven by the fact that it's all driven by economic gains. Now, the recent trend in food contamination has been very alarming, and that is actually posing Ghanaians to a lot of health risks. Now, limiting it down to the Ethifon, the brand name Etimas, that was being used recently, or that is being trending recently, pertaining to ripening plantain. This Ethifon is per the EPA, their last updated list, it is an approved chemical. Okay, so FDA, per their last approved list on their website, that is 2023, as of December. The Ethifon is an approved chemical, so it was actually registered as a plant regulator. Okay, so what this plant regulator do is one thing. It quickens the ripening process and also flowering of what plants. So when you take plants, for instance, plants have a lot of hormones, 5 major hormones that they use in its development process. And one of the hormones is the ethylene hormone. So this Ethifon, what it does is that when you apply this Ethifon to these plants, it absorbs these plants or these plant tissues absorb this Ethifon and breaks down this Ethifon into the hormone called ethylene. So the plant sees it to then be the naturally occurring hormone, even though it is not. So there's nothing wrong with the etifon if only it is applied at the farming or at the farming period. Okay, so the etifon must be applied before the crop must be harvested. And it has a pre-harvest period or waiting period of 14 days. So it shouldn't get to the market before this chemical must be applied. Okay, but however, the video we saw realized that the crops came to the market and they applied these chemicals on the crop directly.
Right.
And when that happens, the residues or the traces of this chemical will still be found on the food when you still buy them. However, when it's been applied at maybe before the maturation of the crops at the farm level, because you have a pre-harvest waiting period for at least 14 days. At that time, all the etifon would have been converted into the ethylene hormone, which is needed by the plant for the ripening process. However, if that is done after post-harvestly, that is where the problem is. So now the problem about these chemicals is not the chemical itself, but how we apply it unconsciously, because we have to take precaution whenever we apply this chemical on our plant or on our food crops, because if that happens and get to the market or post-harvest, after harvesting them and you apply it directly on the directly on the food, that is where the problem, that's where it poses the health risks. You know, the WHO has classified this etifon as class 3 hazard. When you say class 3 hazard, meaning it's slightly hazardous. But when you misapply them, that is where it becomes more deleterious to our health.
Mr. Adam, did I hear you mention calcium carbide? I'm not sure, but if you haven't, that is the term, or that's the phrase that's been going around when it comes to the chemicals that are being used. What is it, and at what point does it become harmful?
Okay. So calcium carbide is also used in ripening process, and that one is different from etifon. My conversation I had initially was limited to the etifon because that was what was trending as of yesterday.
Right.
But let's talk about calcium carbide. Calcium carbide is not meant as a food preservative or as an addition to food to actually quicken the ripening process. For that one, it is made for welding and other industrial purposes. That is what calcium carbide is being meant for. However, traders have realized that this calcium carbide can be used in ripening process. So what they do is that they normally put this calcium carbide in papers or maybe in sacks and sprinkle water with it on it. After that, place them on the banana, and it brings about uniform ripening and the rest. And how does calcium carbide quicken the ripening process? If calcium carbide reacts with moisture, and when it reacts with moisture, it produces a chemical called acetylene. And this acetylene mimics the naturally occurring ripening hormone called the ethylene. So whenever this calcium carbide reacts with moisture, now it converts into what we call acetylene. And this acetylene mimics the naturally occurring ripening hormone. Now, the issue here is not even about the acetylene. The issue here is about the carbide itself, because the carbide does not come in 100% purity. It always comes with a contaminant, and some of these contaminants are arsenic, some of these contaminants are phosphine, some of these contaminants are lead and the cadmium. So, in as much as the acetylene is being produced by the conversion of the calcium carbide into the acetylene, the problem here becomes the contaminant that comes to the industrial grade of the calcium carbide itself. So at the end of it, you'll be having your banana, you'll be having your ripe fruit and everything, but it does not come alone. It comes with the contaminant that follows the calcium carbide in itself. So you'll be realizing that you'll be accumulating lead, you'll be accumulating cadmium, and you'll be accumulating arsenic in your food.
Right. So that's my next question to you. that when it comes to these contaminants and its effects on the human body, are we just talking immediate food poisoning or long-term health hazards on an individual? And if it is so, which organs in the body are targeted by these contaminants?
Okay, so when it comes to the Etifon, the chemical that is training at the Medina market and everything, for that one, it gives acute toxicity. When they say acute toxicity, immediately you are exposed to it, you react immediately. So when it, it's acidic in nature, so when it touches your skin, it causes skin burn, so you can feel that. When you ingest them, it can bring about dizziness, weakness, and like you feel nausea, vomiting. These are mostly the acute toxicity actually associated with Etifon. But when it comes to the calcium carbide, because of the lead and the lead, cadmium, and arsenic contaminants, and these heavy metals do not give immediate toxicity or does not manifest immediate toxicity. So it may end up accumulating in your body. And as time goes on, that is where you are going to have a chronic effect. That's where you are going to have a long-term effect. And at that time, it will become too late. So what this happens is that when the lead gets into you, it has the ability to accumulate in your body. And so it gets to the level or the dose that is now ready to actually manifest clinically.
Right.
Okay, so when and we have our liver at risk, we have our kidney at risk, because this kidney, for instance, is surrounded with renal fat pad, and it's made up of fat. So this lead also was a lipophilic, meaning they can bind to these fat structures and stay in your body for long. So it ends up accumulating in your body. And when it gets to a level, or when the fire accumulates to a level that is now deleterious, that is where you begin to have the effect of the lead. But it's not right away. So even though people may be consuming food that has been contaminated with this lead, but they are not going to have immediate toxicity. They are not going to have it right away. So that is why we need to take precaution now. We need to be careful in whatever we take. Else, the future or the long-term effect is more deleterious. And at that time, we can't come back to make things right. At that time, the worst has already happened.
And now you're talking about precaution, and Na is here with me. She's going to come in with some questions. But before she does, you're talking about being careful or precaution. Now, are there any physical signs you should look out for when you get onto the market to buy farm produce? In the instance of the banana and the plantain, sometimes it's really difficult to tell which one has been adulterated and which one is organic or natural. Are there any physical signs that we can look out for that can help us to know which ones are contaminated?
Okay. So one sign, let's come to the fruit. Okay. Whenever you see banana and you realize that there is uniformity when it comes to the ripening process, like the beer, like there's no greenish, whenever there is perfection in the ripening process, it means that is one sign. Whenever there's like the homogeneous, it has ripe, and there's nothing like black or like uniformly ripened. That is one sign. And another sign is that you realize that though it is ripe, you can see the peels that is ripe, but however the banana is hard in there. The banana is hard in there. Okay. And I find that when you are taking this banana, you realize that it does not give you the natural banana, the natural taste. Because when you apply these calcium carbide, it also affects the taste. So you realize that you take banana, but you don't feel like you are taking the banana. Right. And also, whenever you are going for this banana or this plantain, mostly when you apply your fingers on the banana, you realize that there's a powdery something, like some whitish powdery substance on the banana. That's also an indication that the banana has been maybe adulterated, or it has been the ripening process has been quickened by external factors.
Right. Thank you for the education, but Nai has more questions for you this morning.
Yes, Yakubu, Adam. Let's talk about access to these chemicals, the acetone and calcium carbide you mentioned. Is sale of these chemicals regulated, or does anyone and everyone have access to buy them?
Okay, when it comes to the acetone, the brand name is Etimas. That's what is actually trending as of 3 days or 2 days ago. So when it comes to the acetone, it has been approved by the EPA based on the list I chanced on that was updated on their website 2023 as of December. So if they've taken it out of the registered plant regulator for now, I may not know. But as of 2023, it was approved by the EPA. And if substance has been approved by the EPA, it is not illegal for one to buy it. Because after all, it's the plant good regulator, farmers may need them to apply them on their farms. Now the issue now becomes when it's been applied. It should be applied when the food or when the food are on the market. So it should be applied. But when someone goes to buy it, there's some ID card to indicate that someone is a farmer or someone may not be a farmer. So when it comes to accessibility, it becomes easier. People easily get access to it because it's an approved chemical. Because yesterday, as of yesterday, I was seeing that it's an unapproved chemical. So I don't know where that is coming from. Yeah. But what I know about the EPA, the EPA are charged to regulate these things, these chemicals, and it has been approved by the EPA as of 2023 December. So it becomes very difficult not to get it's not easy to get access to it. When it comes to the calcium carbide is meant for industrial purposes, and people use them for welding. And so when you add it, I don't know how they use in welding process, but they buy this substance to help them in welding. So these substances are also found on the market, approved, but not approved for ripening of fruit, but they are approved for the industrial purposes like welding. So it's also available on the market. So when I go and buy it, there's no way the seller will ask, what am I going to use it for? So when I go home and I misapply it, that is where it becomes a problem. So that's why FDA must also get to the market and know that these chemical, these calcium carbide are not found on our food products or are not found on our crops. So basically, that is where it becomes very difficult because these chemicals are not really illegal. It becomes very difficult to actually control or regulate.
Right. Now, that's very concerning because if it's available to all, then that is why we'll see the surge of its usage in unapproved ways. And perhaps it's time that the sale of these chemicals are regulated. Because we know there are some pharmaceutical products which are legal, but can be injurious to us if we use them in certain quantities. And so you need a prescription, for example, to get some particular medicines. And so access or sale to these medications are regulated. But let's move away from that. Since now we know that pretty much anyone can get access to it and they can be used in unapproved ways, the end user, which is the regular consumer, needs to be wary. And you've told us how to, for example, tell if bananas have been contaminated. If you could give us a list of maybe top 5 foods that we buy in the market every day that you know are affected by these contaminants or are ripened by the use of these chemicals, what would they be?
Okay. Now, we are not in the mango season, but you realize that there are still mango available on the on the market. So you ask yourself, where is the mango coming from? How was the mango grown? How was the maturation process being done? How did it get to the market? And can even be on the market for a very long time without even getting spoiled? So that's one indicator. Whenever the fruit, like we are not in the season of fruit, and you found that there's an abundance of these fruits on the market, that is an indicator that there is some adulteration. There's an adulteration somewhere. So when it comes to mango, mostly during the off seasons, and you see a lot of mangoes on our market, that is one of the food you can predict or conveniently or 100% predict that it has been adulterated or these chemicals have been used. So we also have banana. So we can talk about mango, we can talk about banana, and we can talk about plantain. We can talk about banana, we can talk about plantain, we can talk about pineapple.
How about watermelon?
We can talk about pineapple. And watermelon. So far, I haven't done any study relating to watermelon, so it becomes very difficult to actually ascertain with my chest. However, maybe that can be. You know, one thing about watermelon, it does not need to become ripe before you know that it's ripened.
Right.
But this idea of the chemical is to make them look more appealing to the consumer, more appealing to the buyer. But watermelon, we don't expect it to be maybe ripened before we know that it's okay. You know, so maybe that is why our minds are not on that area.
Okay.
So basically, that is that.
All right. Yakubu Adam, thank you very much for your time this morning and the kind of education you have brought to us. This is very rife. It's trending. Everyone is talking about it. So I'm sure in due time, we'll come back to you for a lot more on this one. But thank you for your time. But when it comes to watermelon, what I've been told is that sometimes the market women inject it with food color so that when you split it, the inside, yes, so that when you split it, the inside is very red, but it doesn't taste good.
Wow.
So that's what I've been told about watermelon.
I mean, it looks like this is so widespread.
Yeah.
You know, when he talked about the chemicals that are supposed to be used for welding, I've learned so much. I mean, listening to him and the questions posed to him. You know that recently as well, there was the concern about formalin used to preserve tomatoes. No, actually, it's for dead bodies.
Oh,
to
yes.
preserve dead bodies.
Yes,
they are used for the salted tilapia, which is your regular Kobe, and then for tuna. And so I remember having a training on it, I think about 2 years ago, and they said that when you buy these Kobe or your salted tilapia or tuna, and you have this itchiness on your tongue after, you need to remember that they use formalin for it. And I'm glad that he also confirmed the issue about pineapple, because I had heard reports of those along the Nsawam area, you know, using chemicals as well to ripen the pineapples very fast, just so they could go on the market.
That is why I like to buy from the farms. I mean,
but not everyone can go to the farms.
I know, but this is a concern I've had. I felt like every time I bought mangoes by the roadside, sometimes
in a few hours, not even days anymore.
Yeah,
in a few hours, it's going bad.
It goes bad
and
so
even
quickly.
as it's sitting in the fridge,
it's going bad
in the fridge.
And so every chance I get to go outside of Accra, I go out to Pram and those areas very often. I go to the farms. So I like to buy from the farms in large quantities. And shouts to Koja Koto Boateng. He's on Facebook. He's a farmer. He's on Facebook. And every time fruits are in season, he puts up many posts about it. And so we buy directly from the farms. And I see that more and more people are, you know, eager to buy from the farms.
But now,
because of this,
unfortunately, it's 33 million of us. Not all of us can go to the farms.
We want
to go and buy
We want
food.
our market women and their businesses to thrive. But when we hear news of this nature,
you just want to go.
You just want to be safe, especially when you are feeding it to young children.
But the question I have. In the past, we did not used to hear about these things.
Because we had mango trees at home. Innovative ways of making extra money.
We had mango trees at home. We had our coconut trees at home. Now we are shaving the ground and paving our homes.
Exactly.
Now all of our homes are paved.
Yes.
We don't have trees anymore.
Okay.
So we have to rely
any farm produce. We don't
have the backyard farms.
No backyard farming.
But even minus the backyard farms and the mango trees and coconut trees at home, we did not used to hear these reports. Is it that they didn't make it into the open domain for people to discuss, or our market women are just getting greedy?
It's demand and supply. Back in the day, you could pluck mangoes in the neighborhood, and you didn't have to really buy mangoes. It wasn't a thing that we needed to buy, for at least when I was growing up. Okay, it was available to us. Now it's not available to us, and so the demand is high. And so on the supply end, they need to make it available to you somehow.
But who's teaching these market women how to use, what these chemicals are and even how to use them? How do they know that they can artificially ripen our farm produce with all these chemicals?
So like
who's
you
teaching
say,
them? Who's regulating?
Exactly, who's regulating? So like Adams was telling us, it is legal to use them at a certain phase of the production process, of the farming process.
Yes.
So they are aware of what it can do. Now they are using it at the end phase, which is what is causing or posing health risks
Lord have mercy on us.
to us. So it's information that is known, it's just used in the wrong way now.
And I think perhaps I should chip this in. One other thing also coming up is the GMOs plus the organic fruits. I realize that, and I've had that experience when I go to the bigger shops, I buy fruits thinking they are organic, and you go home and you realize that they are not organic. And there are so many ways to really find out. We need to be able to label the organic and the GMO so that we can have a choice. And if I want GMO, I pick GMO. If I want organic, I want organic. But there are so many.
Yes. Even chicken.
I know.
Yes. Even chicken.
I stopped buying cold store chicken.
Yeah, I know, right?
I buy it and I let them kill it for me live, and then I get it done. Or
it's
like the last time we
modified.
talked about the national service one. So so many of you have sent in messages.
Even here, privately, Peter T and everyone is sending messages.
Yes, I have some on my phone as well. But let's go through very quickly what we have on the dashboard. This is coming from Joe Eskin. It says, good morning, New Day crew. Live stream in Lagos, Nigeria. Always looking good, ladies. Keep it up. God bless you all. Thank you very much, Joe Eskin. Good morning, TV3. That lady in the market who says they are putting fear and panic in them by coming with the police is a suspect.
Yes, she is.
Why will you fear police if you're not doing anything wrong? And that's coming from Mauli Abokobi. Actually, that's the same comment we made when we saw her. There is another one coming in. He says, good morning, daughters of glorious Jesus. Please, we should also be careful when buying red fish in traffic in town. That is true. You know, they use...
They sell red fish in traffic?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Especially in the Osu area.
Yes.
Yeah,
On the Oxford Street.
Yes, on the Oxford Street.
It's
in silver pans.
Yes.
And they are selling them.
And some of them, and this is coming from people who train, or professionals, they use washing powder to wash the fish at sea before they come, just so that they can look fresh.
Mercy.
Says some people use sardine to make them look like it's fresh from the sea, but unwholesome, discarded from coast stores. Victor from Oyibi. Prince Henry Koforidia says, in this country, we are our own enemies, so why should we force plantain and banana to ripe? Now, I fear to buy red oil from market women, all because of the fear that I'll be buying contaminated oil and not the organic red oil. Sad. Even in Tamale, Central Market, a lot is happening. Using of chemicals. You didn't add your name. This one says, Philip Abuchi from Keta says, good morning, TV3. In fact, I'm very surprised to see unapproved chemicals being used on bananas. This is totally unacceptable behavior. These chemicals can cause cancer and other dangerous diseases to Ghanaians. The woman involved must face the law so that others will learn. I also salute Honorable Kwame Agboja for speaking up on this matter. There is one from... Okay, he says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Growing up, we used earthen stoves instead of gas stoves, cooking pots instead of modern cooking methods, pots to store water instead of refrigerators, and manual farming methods instead of chemicals in agriculture. Today, people use formalin to preserve Kobe and chemicals to ripen food products. I think we are more dead than alive, and that's coming from Humadosi Tupa. This is coming from, okay, it says, good morning, Roland. I'm a Ghana. We are serious, even the officers. Okay, I'm not sure I understand this message clearly. It says, good morning to you all. This chemical thing is very common in Medina market. Wow. When you are buying plantain in the morning, they will ask you if you want it to ripe in the afternoon. Hey. That is if the person is going to roast it, and they will do exactly as you want. But the authorities, that's serious, eh?
That's very serious.
Must go to all the markets in the country. This is serious. Good morning, Roland.
Which market is that, please?
Medina.
Medina market.
Hey, it says about chemicalization of food. I don't believe the turkey berries are chemicalized. In fact, the very matured abedru on its plant sometimes even turn violet. Oh, okay.
Oh, so
if not harvested early. Okay. I've seen a number of them like that on the farms hanging on the plant. So relax and comfortably consume your abedru. And that is coming from Frank Teshi. And this one says, good morning, Nash, Oko, Beatrice, and Roland Cookie. What is going on with what we eat these days is a problem. Because just Sunday, I bought plantain to fry, only for me to peel the plantain the next day. But I was surprised because the outside was ripe and soft, but the inside very white. After frying, you can't even eat it. This one says, good morning, New Day team. I pray you get a wonderful day. Yesterday, I followed Beatrice on Agenda, and some of the explanations made me understand that many road accidents occur not just from the absence of street light or quality and infrastructure, but rather due to human attitude. If only signs, rules, and regulations attached to road safety were followed and respected by every driver, less accidents could occur. And that is coming from Mustafa Yamboni from Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Bonjour, mon frère. Et à votre famille. And this is from Bismarck Mensah. He says the FDA and relevant authorities should begin monitoring TikTokers who mix and sell unknown creams and body scrubs.
Those two, yes.
Some of these concoctions are alarming and potentially dangerous. Perhaps I can read the last one here. It says our agencies are just not helping us because I know of this practice since 2021.
Wow.
So many messages. Really
Peter T, unfortunately, we can't read yours, but he says he's also stopped buying fruits on the market just because of these same challenges.
It means that all of us will have to go to the farm like has been doing. I don't know how that will be and how easy that will be for
the
us.
farmers are on Facebook. Okay,
So we should buy from
Look
them.
up Koja Kotopati. He's a farmer on Facebook. Okay. And when it's season for bananas, for mangoes, pineapples, etc., he comes and says, it's X season. I have this available. Call this number and buy. I mean, shouts to our market women. We don't want to spoil your business, but we're hearing now that you're using Esifon and was it calcium?
Just stop. Please stop.
Yes.
Just stop.
That's it.
Yes. Yepamochowa. Just stop. Because it's posing health hazards to us. Yes.
And you know, Cookie, new mothers nowadays are making their own fruit purees at home. So instead of buying all these canned fruit purees, they're feeding it to babies.
And you are using contaminated fruits to make them. It's not right.
Unripe,
Yes, Remo Munjai. Yes, Remo. We are appealing to all of you. Munjai.
It's inhuman.
It's inhuman. Thank you very much. Now, pack up your day. The Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck Milk Shortcake. It's available everywhere. In every corner store, it's available. So please make sure you get some for your friends and family. Now, remember that 3 of you are also walking away with 500 Ghana cedis this morning just by dialing *439# if you're a Telecel or MTN subscriber. The first draw or the first cash out will come to you right after the big issue. Please stay with us. We will be right back.
Back then in J-Town, me had the hustle to find my lane. Grinding on the hustle, struggling to make and pay. Dream louder than the traffic where they
Again, I hope that you did enjoy that discussion. Very educative in itself. And particularly when you get onto the app, TikTok, you find that there are clear audiovisual content that is replicating the experiences of market women, raising concerns about contaminated food. Contaminated food because, well, ordinary traders and those who tend to buy the product or the produce from the farm or marketing centers to the various markets where they are sold in cities, communities, villages, etc., are now trying to engineer their own ways by which our own foods, whether it's plantain, bananas, or other fruits, vegetables, and other edibles from farms are consumed or eaten by us as consumers. And this has raised concerns not only from the Food and Drugs Authority, but the traders or the market women or those who are in the trade themselves. And for consumers, unsuspectingly, it also means that you should be concerned. What you think you're eating wholesomely could be something that is very carcinogenic for your own body. And you know that when it comes to carcinogens, they are one of the leading causes of cancer in the world. And so it's a public health crisis in my estimation. Well, you can get more updates of this. TV3 Ghana is where we're streaming. And so I will encourage you. Let me say good morning to you, Edmond Combat of the Tema Oil Refinery, the Managing Director, Alhaji Jibril of National Security, wishing you all the best for the day. Pai Fianco of Engineers and Planners. A great lady, beautiful and intelligent as well. Delight, when you celebrate your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Delight. It's from all your well wishes. Otelia, you live in Tamale as well. Philippine Godot, happy birthday from you to Delight and everybody else who is around you. We say that have a blessed one. Enjoy your new age. Your lunch is on all of us, so we'll take you to lunch today, Delight. Please do enjoy it in great fare. And we told you that we'll be discussing a very pertinent subject had been brewing, the minority on the tails of Gold Board, particularly on the tails of its CEO, Sami Jemfi, who, by the way, about 2 or 3 hours from now, will be taking his turn on the accountability series, and that, of course, will be also live here. But before then, the minority leader, Penyo Maki, and the rest of some leading cohorts of the minority side have been raising concerns about the latest IMF report on the Gold Board, its transactions for the Bank of Ghana, and the losses that are incurred thereof, and why an argument should not be made for the Gold Board to be the one ascribed to be making the losses. And the losses, we're talking about $1.7 billion. Estimatedly in Ghana cities, per what the estimator and the minority is saying, 22 billion Ghana cedi plus. And they say, if you make the argument, we better not make those losses, irrespective of how positive the trade in gold by the Gold Board for the Bank of Ghana has affected Ghana's economy and the appreciation of the cedi against the US dollar particularly. So we have some great people to help us with the discussion. I have Jabuntie, the son of Sisala East. Jabuntie Zato holds a PhD. He goes by the Christian name Joshua. Joshua taken from the Bible. Good morning.
Good morning, Roland.
Jabuntie.
Yes. How are you doing? I hope you had a nice weekend.
Charlie was okay. Was okay.
You're surviving. Small.
Yeah.
There.
And well, the finance man who took over from the Proverbs man, member of Parliament for Sanerigu Esia Taisa, always when he speaks, a thorn in the flesh of the minority as well, knows his staff is here. Ataisa, how are you? Honorable.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Great.
Long time.
Yes. And then, of course, the chairman for the Common Sense family of the Republic of Ghana, Director of Communications, UP, not the UP of old, the UP of present. Solomon Owusu is here with his pile of books, semblance of the style of Kukubako. You have a go board. Okay, I see it here. So what's the minority leader was banding around? This is a copy?
No, this one, this is a copy.
Oh, okay.
But they extrapolated it from this one.
From this one. Okay. So you got hold of it as well?
Oh, yes.
Well, Solomon, how are you?
I'm doing very well. You're looking great this morning.
Thank you. For those who have joined us, we're grateful, particularly on our social media platform. It's very important that we also acknowledge you, and I know all of you are looking forward to today's session. And so I see a couple of you. Let me just say good morning to you, Grace Ayensu, and then also Hadiya Nuren, wishing you all the best. Samuel Kate, good morning to you, my brother. It's been a while. And then Noel, I see you as well. Kingston Besnap Asemiga also. And then I see Prince Daniel York. He lives in the UK, joining us. Ni Atukwekwe just lives around the road. Nearly encountered the accident we reported the last time. He dodged it, so good gracious to you. And then, of course, Zilis Dwayne is also watching. Kwesi Mensah. I see Yesuto as well. Ruth Nelson is also watching. And Kofi GH, and all of you, please make sure you share the stream. Michael Chikat, I see you. Now, please, let's have some great conversations. And please let us know what you make of today's subject as well. But this is what the minority leader did say. We give you snippets of his interaction yesterday.
Yes. The Bank of Ghana's equity stood at negative 93.8 billion cedis at the end of last year. Negative 6.7% of GDP. Our central bank is technically bankrupt, therefore. And the single biggest driver of that collapse in the 2025 was gold operations, Gold Board. Gold Board's own domain, 22 billion cedis. That's equivalent of the 1.7 billion US dollars in 1 year alone. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it what it is. These losses are not bad luck. You don't trade in gold and make losses. They are not a difficult market. They expose the crass incompetence of Gold Board's management and misaligned policy of the government. No serious institution loses this much money by accident. This is what happens when an untouchable few are handed the nation's gold with no one watching and no one willing to ask questions. Gold Board must tell Ghanaians the following. 1. What prices were paid for gold? How were those prices determined? What premiums, if any, were paid to secure the supply? How were international off-takers selected? At what discounts were their gold sold? How much was earned by Gold Board in service and asset charges from transactions financed by Bank of Ghana? What commercial risk did Gold Board itself bear? What transactional risk were passed automatically to Bank of Ghana? What internal risk controls existed to protect the financier, the Bank of Ghana? What corrective measures were taken as losses accumulated?
Apenyo Markin is also a lawyer by profession, also a businessman. He is the minority leader speaking there, and he was surrounded by some leading members of the MPP and minority in Parliament. And their position has been a subject of debate over the last 12 hours. And focally speaking for them this morning is Aaron. Aaron Asiedu. Good morning to you, Aaron. How are you? Aaron Asiedu Entry. You say your constituency is where?
I'm from the Brim constituency.
They'll be proud of you. Congratulations also for passing your bar exam.
You see that here, so they are wearing smokes. I don't know whether
we are respecting
Today is Wednesday.
We are respecting the directive from
those who are he is not respecting the directive.
You're also a citizen.
I'm a citizen. But they didn't give me smoke allowance. You cannot just put a directive that has financial implications without.
But Aaron, if you look at the thrust of the argument of the MPP and then the minority, it's been subjected to a lot of criticism, but at the same time also accepted in some quarters. Would you say it holds water and has some credence, so to speak, more importantly, particularly looking at all the concerns that have been raised, but also the positives from the gold purchase program, so to speak?
So first, let me say good morning to your viewers, and particularly those watching us from my beloved hometown of Kpeshie. Do you know Kpeshie?
You keep mentioning, I don't know. You have to take me there.
One particular this weekend. I should be there to have some engagement.
Kpeshie.
Yes, Kpeshie. It's 15 minutes off the Pipotia Road, the bypass, if you are going to Kumasi. So, Roland, I listened to the Honorable Afenyo Markin, and I've read the responses from the Gold Board CEO. But I want to establish this before we even zoom into the discussion. This document I hold over here is the Constitution. Article 1 Clause 1 of the Constitution says something very interesting. It says that sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the limits laid down in this Constitution. This Constitution primarily does two things. It creates the state and it creates the arms of government. And in fact, it is a political document and it tells us how we should even be governed. I tell you, it creates the state. I'm making a point to even zoom into the main discussion for you to appreciate.
Why is it relevant to the
Good, I'm coming. Now, you need people to govern. And it is the people's power that they've given to you. So on the first instance, when you are exercising the people's power and any of the people tend to ask you a question, it is incumbent on you that in all humility, you respond to that person with the greatest of respect to the person. This Constitution establishes Parliament, which my senior brother sitting here is a member over there. And so if he, as a member representing a constituency, asks a question, you don't insult the person. Look at the post of the Gold Board CEO. He called the minority leader a joke. He didn't start from there. He started by insulting the Honorable Abena Osei-Asare when she first raised the matter. People did not comment about it. He has now proceeded to the minority leader. If we don't even take care, he will carry it to a flag bearer. The arrogant posture of Sami Jenfi must be called out. And he must stop that. You are being paid by the taxpayer. Solo pays taxes. The Honorable Ataisa pays taxes. Honorable, incoming Honorable Joshua Zabunti also pays taxes. It is the taxpayers' money. Somebody has raised a point. If you disagree with the person, mind training. Even staying in law school for 5 good years, I was taught that wherever it gets tough, you raise your argument, you don't raise your voice. You don't insult to make a point. It makes no sense. Now, the point over here, let's even understand the issue. The Honorable Afenyo Markin was speaking to IMF report. That is what he was speaking to. And that has not even been contested. The point over here is that if you look at the IMF, established in 1944, on the 20th day of September 1957, Ghana joined the IMF. I am a citizen of this country. I voted for a certain class of people to rule me. They take a decision to join a certain body and have given credibility to that body because successive governments, both the MPP and the NDC, have been going to IMF for money. They go for loans. And even the IMF is cautious of these two political parties, of which I'm even part of one of these political parties, to the extent that they give them conditionalities. You tell us that the IMF is credible and you rely on them. If you come to think of it, even from this August or September, the NDC exiting the IMF has also signed on to another program called the Policy Coordination Instrument. So it is not me, Eronasi Edoentri, giving credibility to IMF. It is you, the government, giving credibility to IMF. And so if IMF tells you that there is a loss, IMF does not sit in Adabraka. IMF does not sit in Asylum down. So if IMF says you have made a loss, the question is how did even IMF arrive at that point? IMF sits in New York. You carried your books to him, or to them, sorry. And they have analyzed him and told you that there is a loss. Now deal with the matter. You have to insult us first before you even explain the matter to us.
What's the insult here?
You didn't read Sami Jenfi's
post. Okay.
But you see, before we even proceed on this, the critical issue we must answer. If you pick Sami Jemfi's gold board, is it audited account or so, you might not find any loss. But the loss sits on the books of what we call it, Bank of Ghana. Interestingly, on the 30th day of April 2026, pursuant to Section 58 of the Bank of Ghana's Act, when Bank of Ghana audits the account, they must, within 3 months, submit the said audited account to the minister. Then the minister, within 1 month, must publish. This Bank of Ghana did not do so. There was loss. They chose the Honorable Atayisa together with some NDC communicators to explain the loss to us before they forwarded it to the minister.
But they forwarded it.
The point over here is that they shouldn't have even given it to the Honorable Atayisa. But I have a question for Honorable Atayisa. There is some issues even happening on the gold board audited accounts. I need clarification from you. Can a revolving fund, Honorable, be classified as a revenue?
Of course.
Honorable, I'm asking you a question.
I'll answer when
That's fine. If you respond, I have so many questions. The point over here is that there is a loss. And the loss is coming out of gold trading activities.
For?
Who trade gold in this country? Is it not the gold board?
Yes, before
and
the PMMC, yes.
They are trading it for and on behalf of the BOG. And we are speaking to this loss. If you say it does not sit on your books, for me, you can explain that in a decorous manner. You don't insult.
But Aaron, let me.
Do you agree with the insult?
Okay, so I'll read the text and then all of us will apprise ourselves of it. I think it's very important. The Gold Board undertakes this activity for and on behalf of the Bank of Ghana, is that not it? And then the funds for doing or undertaking this trading is from the Bank of Ghana. So if you look at what their statement of financial position will be, etc., it has to sit on the Bank of Ghana books, right?
I doubt that has been contested. That has not been contested. The point over here.
So why do you want to?
We had PMMC.
Yes.
That was going to the market with any other individual. Then you monopolize the trading or the buying of gold to only one entity. Bank of Ghana gives that entity money, and the entity goes to the market, comes out with loss. It must be questioned. And that is what the IMF has raised, and we are questioning. And you must not insult us when we raise such a critical matter. It's as simple as that.
Why don't you direct these concerns you have to the Bank of Ghana?
Who traded the gold?
Gold Board.
Thank you.
On behalf of who?
Thank you.
Okay.
As simple as that.
All right. The concerns that have been raised, then particularly also juxtaposing what the issues also raised by Aaron, and bundling the two, minority, and then the concerns of Aaron on behalf of the MPP, Mr. Taisa, also means that perhaps there has to be a proper delineation of the issues. And looking at the concerns, even from academia, that the losses need to be looked at within the context of losses that are for and on behalf of the Bank of Ghana, but the tax-paying people of the Republic of Ghana. And so perhaps we need to do something about it. How do we look at those issues comprehensively?
All right, so let me say good morning to your viewers and to my colleagues in studio. Now, it is sad when you are dealing with people who don't let principle lead. We should have been discussing a successful regional elections of their party. Instead, they want us to focus on tangential issues that they have always brought out to the public, and we have given clarity of those issues. But if you look at the press statement that they released yesterday, they began with a fundamental error. They said the latest IMF report in terms of the final review of the Ghana Extended Credit Facility Program, which was completed on 10th July. There was no any completion of IMF Extended Credit Facility on 10th July. The last one was on 27th July. So they began the whole press conference in error. So let me just begin by saying that if you look at this document that I'm holding, let me cite it properly so that it will be a guide.
Which document is that?
Yes, I'm coming to cite the proper sources. This is the IMF SIP 2026, International Monetary Fund Lessons from Bank of Ghana's Gold Domestic Gold Purchase Program. And then the IMF issued papers 2026, issue number 84, published on 7th August 2026. They have settled the matter. And I think that should be the place that we should take the argument
The premise on which?
The premise on which we should argue our facts from. This is what the IMF had to say on the $1.67 billion. It states, the IMF approximately $1.67 billion estimate should, however, be understood in its proper context. It represents an analytical assessment of economic costs associated with the program and incorporates factors such as service and access costs, discounts, trading outcomes, and exchange differentials. It should therefore not be treated as equivalent to an audited corporate loss recorded by the Gold Board. The 2025 audited financial statement and the IMF selected issue analysis apply different measurements and reporting approaches. The audited financial statement reflects established accounting and financial reporting framework, whilst the IMF adopts a broader economic methodology. The resulting figures are therefore not directly comparable. A transparent reconciliation of methodologies, periods, and components underlining the different estimates will provide a more useful basis for assessment. What they are just trying to tell you is that the figure that they are giving now and that of the reported loss on the books of Bank of Ghana are not different. What Ghanaians should be interested in is reconciling the methodologies being used. And I kept mentioning this the very first day the audited financial statement of the Bank of Ghana came out. I kept on saying that if you look at the Bank of Ghana's Act, the treatment of one, special drawings right, and exchange differentials are treated under other comprehensive income and not reported on the operations of Bank of Ghana to determine loss or profits. I kept on making the same argument. My brother said that, why should an entity trade good, but the losses sit on the book of Bank of Ghana? You see, that's what I'm saying, that when we lack principles, that's the problem. This architecture that we are using, the reporting architecture we are using right now, is not different from the architecture that we started using in 2021.
When the Gold Purchase Program was introduced.
We haven't changed even one. And I will demonstrate that to you. There was an RTI request, and this one, there was an RTI request from Asempa to the Bank of Ghana to tell us the request for information. We refer to your letter dated 7th January 2020 on the above subject matter. Kindly find below on the performance of the domestic gold purchase program and its associated losses since its inception in June 2021. Then, look, they said 2022, they bought a total of 0.76 tons, 3.47 tons, valued at $194.43 million. In 2023, we bought 24.87 tons, valued at about 1.5 billion. And then in 2024, we bought 56.47, valued at $4 billion. And in 2025, we bought 110.99, valued at 11.99 billion. What they are trying to say is that the same operations that was used under the domestic gold purchase program in 2021 is still the same arrangement that is done in 2025-2026. What occasioned the significant losses? Not the losses attributable to operational loss, but what occasion is the quantum of what? Gold that is being purchased. And if you look at the trajectory of the losses, the IMF proceeded by giving clarity on it, and that's what I'm saying that we should read. Look, the financial, in 2022, we incurred a total loss of 74.44 million Ghana cedis. In 2023, we incurred 1.37 billion Ghana cedis losses. And in 2024, we got 5.66 billion Ghana cedis under the broad net loss classification program, which is currently what is being done. But after 2025, when the auditor report for 2024 came out, the IMF further did their own validation and came to the realization that the total loss attributable to the domestic gold purchase program was $400 million. This is broader. They use the economic fiscal, quasi-fiscal expenditure framework to incorporate all other expenditures and costs attributable to the program. When we are using the Bank of Ghana's Act, the Public Financial Management Act, and the international reporting standard frameworks. That is what Ghana has been using.
These are losses nonetheless.
Yes.
And if you go to page 10 of the IMF documents,
yes.
indeed, they do indicate that these accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic cost. But they still weaken the BOG balance sheet and imply transfers to receipt of forex at the reference rate. And subsequently,
I don't think sitting here I've said that the Bank of Ghana making losses is something that we all desire. But I'm just trying to say the inconsistencies and the dishonesty in the minority. Number one, who started this concept of disagreeing with the measurement approach of IMF? Was it not the MPP who brought the concept of above the line and below the line measurements? Those days when the IMF gave us their estimates, and we are coming to talk about those estimates, the MPP will say that no, in analyzing the annual debt performance of this country, you do the above the line and then the below the line. In fact, the below the line, they brought the financial sector cleanup, then the legacy debt at the AD sector. And we questioned them that this was reflective of all total public debt of our country, including SOEs. The IMF was keep on using the SOEs debt as part of central government's debt. The MPP decided to separate it. That was on pure accounting methodologies. So I kept on saying that the methodology institutions use can vary the outcome, but it does not mean it contradicts each other. Now, let's look at the characterization of the minority on the equity position of the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana, in the first place, is not a profit-making entity. In 2025, when the first report came out, the $214 million reported loss by the gold program came out, this is what the minority had to say. They said that the gold for oil and the gold forward reserve was implemented in 2021 to help do the following. 1, reduce pressures on foreign exchange. 2, contribute to cedi stability, help maintain fuel supplies, was a time-bound intervention, and that the losses disclosed by the Bank of Ghana represented the cost associated with providing FX liquidity rather than evidence of diversion of missing money. This was the exact position of the MPP when the first $214 million reported loss came. And I'm saying that if you look at the negative equity position of the Bank of Ghana, the minority yesterday made the allusion that the NDC had a negative equity position of the Bank of Ghana at 96 billion. What they forgot to know is that equity position of Bank of Ghana is a two-year concept. So if you look at 2024, we ended the year with 61.8 billion Ghana cedis negative equity. And this year, it has moved to 96. When you take the 35 billion added to what we inherited, that is what gave you the 96. It doesn't mean that the NDC in 1 year had a total negative equity of 96. The 96 includes the 2025 of 35 billion and then the inherited one of 61.8 billion Ghana cedis.
One thing that the minority does indicate, that the trading, and Aaron has also reiterated, the trading was done by the Gold Board. Yes. So why then don't you blame the Gold Board for it, to the point that they make a very conscious statement that the Auditor General might not have apprised itself of some of these losses by the Gold Board. And as a result of that, the Gold Board should be held responsible for some of these losses to the taxpayer.
So let's look at the arrangement. Like I said, this is the same arrangement that was used from 2021. Number 2, the Gold Board was a conduit used, or the vehicle used in mopping up
like an SPV, for example.
An SPV. Now, the source of funding for the purchase of the domestic gold came from the Bank of Ghana. Now, when they traded it and get the FX, they brought it back to the Bank of Ghana for FX management. So they are attracted to a fee. So why do you put revenue and expenditure framework of central bank on the books of the Gold Board when they are only entitled to a fee? That is absurd. I give you money to go and purchase gold on my behalf. You purchase the gold, we sell the gold, I get my FX. Then I give you a fee. And you are now saying that I should put on all the exchange differential losses on the books of the Gold Board, when in fact the money that was used to purchase the gold did not come from Gold Board. So when you look at that analysis, it defeats logic. And I'm saying that this was the same arrangement that was used by the MPP. And I have the table in 1 minute. I have the table here that says timeline and institutional responsibility. Look, in June 2021, Bank of Ghana began the domestic gold purchase program and the gold for reserve framework. In 2022, the domestic gold purchase program scaled up during severe FX and reserve stress. And look at what they said about the relevance here. Loss exposure began before the gold board was established. In 2023, gold for oil operated alongside the gold for reserve. The Bank of Ghana was the financial and risk bearer. The Bank of Ghana has always been the risk bearer of this arrangement. It has not been a situation where PMMC was the one looking for money to purchase those things. At every time when we instituted this policy, the Bank of Ghana has always been
So your
the risk
argument is
bearer.
that it's an inherited cost structure.
That is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the NDC government has not changed one single architecture reporting methodology ever since the introduction of the domestic.
Is that his
gold
question?
control. Now, you talk about a revolving fund.
I ask you, can it be classified under revenue?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. That's all. That's
Oh,
all.
but
don't worry. I would explain why.
You
I
explain
asked.
why.
Don't worry.
Okay, I have to go to Zato. So the 10. Please quickly do that.
So
just in a minute.
My final point on this has to do with the fact that we must be principled. I don't disagree on the call for accountability. Frankly speaking, I don't disagree. But in calling for accountability, one must not seek to do always trying to play political mischief. Do you know, in summary, what I will say about this whole issue of gold board? I see it to be like an attack on a hen that lays a golden egg.
An attack
On a hen that lays a golden egg. What they seek to do is to always ridicule, poo-poo the effort being made by government in managing the FX well. And I read the MPP statement on why the domestic gold purchase program was introduced. Can you tell me, when you introduce a policy, it has policy objectives. Can you tell me when they implemented the gold for reserve and the gold for oil program, did it lead to 1, CD depreciation or appreciation? 2, did it maintain fuel at export price? No. All the policies initiated from 2021 did not achieve the needed result. In 2025 alone, the CD appreciated by 42% against the US dollars and 30% against the pound sterling. And I'm saying that when you implement a policy in one single year and it gives you these measurable outcomes, on what grounds are you saying that that policy is a bad one? In London, look, how do you determine a loss? Even let's grant that the IMF said that we made a loss of $1.7 billion. Let's grant that. How do you get a loss when the total inflows accruing to that program resulted in $10 billion inflow in FX, and you net $1.7 billion operational loss? How do you describe that?
It's still a loss anyway.
But at what gain?
For comparable figures, it's still a loss.
Let's look
You're
at
a finance man.
No, and I'm saying that you don't do cost-benefit analysis like that. You don't take the cost whilst neglecting the benefit. What is the benefit that the IMF says the program has done? And that's where I will land my whole statement on what the government, the benefit that the government of Ghana has done using the domestic gold purchase program. 1, the World Bank current country assessment records that strong gold export supported the 2025 current account surplus, increased reserve to more than 5.7 months of imports cover, and strengthened the cedi. The Ministry of Finance report gross reserve of about 13.8 billion United States dollar at the end of 2025, up from an equivalent of 4 months of imports cover in 2024. These are material gains in my estimation, and I'm saying that the benefit outweighs that of the cost of implementing the domestic gold purchase program under an NDC government.
Dr. Zato, overall cost-benefit analysis, you look at the cost, the losses 1.7, and then the overall reflection and trickle down to subsectors of the economy. The minority should not be raising any concern at all, according to Ataisa.
Thank you very much. You know, when we look at this whole thing, and throughout the week, I've heard...
Which thing? The purchase program or
the whole program, the whole thing, the whole thing. I've listened to government communicators, party spin doctors, and a majority speakers from the parliament, and I've just listened to my brother talking. You can sum the whole thing to this. It's all lies, damn lies, and accounting gymnastics. The overall objective is to throw dust into the eyes of innocent Ghanaians.
Why?
To cover up for what is happening. At the end of the day, all laws be laws. Whether it is gold board or government laws, all laws be laws. This NDC government has defined laws as incompetence. They have argued that if you make a loss, you are incompetent and you are not fit for purpose. In September 2023, the NDC, together with the current finance minister and the current gold board CEO, marched to the Bank of Ghana. Do you know why they went there? They went there because the Bank of Ghana made a loss.
Thank you.
They marched to the Bank of Ghana because the Bank of Ghana made a loss. And they demanded that the governor of the Bank of Ghana and his two deputies should resign because they made a loss.
Who told you that?
I'm reading it online.
Read it. You have it.
That they made a loss. They were incompetent because they made a loss.
That they should resign.
They should resign. Him and his two governors should resign because they made a loss of around 60 billion Ghana cedis.
For which they had the security man come to take the petition.
Thank you. No. It's okay. Security man, don't worry. I agree with that.
Director of security.
I agree with that. Today, the two who led that demonstration, the CEO of Gold Board and the Minister of Finance, those same people are now telling us that the same bank that has now made the $1.7 billion is okay. They deserve.
So you're comparing 60 billion to the 1.7.
I wish I could flow small. They are saying that today, forget about the fact that they made 1.7 billion. Forget about anything. Clap for them. Praise them. Sing their hosannas and hallelujahs. And the governor and his two deputies roll a red carpet for them. Let them celebrate. They have saved the economy.
Oh, they say overall, yeah.
I am saying, I want you to understand what they are trying to shove down our throats. I want you to understand the bull they are trying to sell to us. The same bank made a loss, clap for them. The same bank has made a loss again, praise them. No. What hypocrisy.
Okay.
And your point is a loss is a loss. What is
a loss is a loss is a loss. So the question is, see, if you spoke to the Bank of Ghana in 2023, they too could make the same argument. They could tell you that loss, and by 2023, we're just coming out of COVID, where almost every bank, central bank in the world made a loss. Almost every central bank in the world made a loss because you had to come with what? COVID was a force majeure. That means that banks had to find ways, new ways and means of responding to COVID. So almost every bank made a loss.
You're just justifying that 60 billion loss, but you don't want them to justify this
I'm making a point that, and that is why I'm saying lies, damn lies, and accounting gymnastics or hypocrisy. I'm saying that those who accuse the Bank of Ghana of incompetence when they made a loss should not be those saying that we should praise the Bank of Ghana today for the loss. Either you condemn both loss or you situate it and contextualize it to say that, yes, the banks made that loss because they were not created to make profit. I agree with that. That they made those losses because they were faced with different challenges. And in responding to those challenges, they made a loss. If you do that, I understand. If you understand, we will learn. If you do that, you are creating knowledge. If you don't do that, then you are being a liar and a hypocrite. That is the point I'm making.
Really?
Number one, yes, I'm being honest with you here. Okay. That's number one. Number two, people are forgetting about something. We are narrowly focusing on the financial or economic loss of this program. We are counting numbers and figures. Do you know what we've forgotten? Galamsey. Do you know what we are not counting? Our rivers are being poisoned. Our forests are being poisoned. We are dying slowly because of Galamsey. And the World Bank has told us that one of the biggest influences of this program is Galamsey. They have said that. Do you know why this government has adopted a very lackadaisical approach to Galamsey? It's because of this program. Do you know why the government ignores when they shot at soldiers and tried to kill soldiers here, they didn't do anything? It's because of this program. Do you know why right now there's Galamsey in front of a hospital, there's Galamsey in front of a police station, and government has done nothing? It's because of this program. Do you know why ministers, senior party officials, DCEs, MPs are involved in Galamsey? The government has done nothing. It's because of this program.
So this program is a cause of Galamsey?
It's because, no, it has given a new impetus to Galamsey. And it has
but Galamsey was inherited.
The report said that. The report said that if you look at the quantum increase, and I'm telling you that, the reason why CSOs, independent of everybody, is saying that we have lost, not that we are losing, we've lost the Galamsey fight, is because the government knows that it's the Galamsey that is feeding this program. And they don't give a damn about the consequences of Galamsey. The reason we are in this is because of, and that's the point I'm making. Everybody,
aren't you skipping the...
I'm not skipping.
The subject matter of the overall...
I am talking about the subject and exactly what you are doing. You see, my point is that...
Dr. Zato, let me ask my question, unless maybe you want to ask
your question.
Yeah. So I'll ask the question and then you respond.
Thank
and
you.
that's one. Aren't you perhaps poo-pooing or perhaps also underwhelming and perhaps also not laying great emphasis on the fact that you look at the overall cost-benefit analysis, and for this, the gold purchase program, as a policy and its overall benefits, if you look at the cost benefits analysis, far outweighs what the arguments that you're making.
You can make that argument. But I'm saying that when you're also making that argument, I'm saying that my second point is that we have ignored a cost-benefit analysis. And one of the costs is that we have ignored the Galamsey and the health of our rivers, our forests, cost to this program. Can you cost?
By 2021, 2022,
again,
Galamsey was ongoing.
I
still
agree.
undertook a gold purchase program.
Thank you, but the report says that it has what? Accelerated so much.
Where did you say?
Please allow him to make his point.
It has said that. My point is that, have we put a financial cost on it? What is the cost on the cancers we are getting? What is the cost on the poison rivers? What is the cost on the forest? It has happened and it's happened. It has increased, exponentially increased. We are not costing those things. And as a country, we are selling our birthright. That is our rivers, our lakes, and our forests to eat today. We are doing what in the Lord's Prayer said, give us this day our daily bread.
That's what we're doing.
The
Give us this day our daily bread.
give us today. This is how let's say, give us today our daily bread. That is what we are doing. We are
gold board,
and this. What we are doing is that we are looking at creating fanciful economic figures. Oh, inflation is down. Interest rate is down, blah, blah. And whilst doing that, we are poisoning ourselves to death, we are poisoning our heritage. Unless and until we do this thing, one day, we will wake up and we'll realize that whatever financial or economic cost we get from this trading, it will come absolutely nowhere near the devastation we are dying.
Dr. Zato, do you think this is a good program, a policy, as it is, that from 2025 has now been able to create the needed reserves for which our city has been so far very strong, appreciated against the US dollar particularly and the other major trade.
That is where I'm coming to my third point. You see, when we created state-owned enterprises, we are told gold board is an SOE, I agree. The Bank of Ghana is an SOE, I agree. When we created them, or when the colonialists created them before independence and when we expanded after independence, they were tasked to do two main things. There's the nation or state building objective, and then there's what the commercial objectives. We hope that they did that. The theory and the literature on SOEs or parastatals, as you call it, or state agencies, I call it, is that when it comes to those that are engaged in utilities, the government expects at minimum cost recovery. So at minimum, so Ghana Water, electricity and all those things, because they serve the general public and they also have to serve the poor people, sometimes the literature accepts or agrees
that... But the two institutions are not the same. Service provision, ECG, Ghana Water, and then Gold Board and the role they play in the gold purchase.
Just allow me to make the point.
The two are not coterminous.
I've not said that. I've not said that, have I? Those are allowed. But then when it comes to what? Profit-making SOEs, that the literature actually calls for what we call full cost recovery and also what? To make profits. That so many governments all over the years in Ghana and others have used this state or nation building argument to justify huge losses being accumulated by SOE, state-owned enterprises. And because of that, whenever Ghana goes to the IMF for relief, when we go there, check the quantum of the debt that is sitting on the books of what? SOEs. It is because of this principle that the president asked a very important question. And that question reverberates today. How do you sell alcohol and still make a loss? Today, that question comes up. How do you sell gold or manage gold? You have absolute monopoly in the buying of this gold, in whatever you are doing to mopping it, you have absolute monopoly of it. And then at the end of the day, you still make a loss that is equivalent to almost what?
Ask that question.
How do you justify? If you think that selling alcohol and making a loss is indefensible. They equally this is. That analysis is important because any state-owned enterprise, no matter what, can justify their losses always. They can always justify their losses based on, again, that inherent idea that they are not just traditionally out there to make profits, but that they also have state or nation-building, political, social objectives. Any state can. The point is that if we allow this argument to continue, even if my brother here agrees that Gold Board has good objectives and that they're doing well, if we allow this argument to stay, tomorrow what is going to happen? What if the next person comes to take off Gold Board is not doing well? That person can also continue to justify his or her losses because we have accepted this argument. My point is that let's not do that. Let's make sure that it is possible to run this program and to minimize our cost. There was a cost in 2024 when it was under the NPP. I agree. How much did it say? About 400 million.
USD, according to that.
USD. In 2025, it has risen to this for the whole program. Imagine we don't do anything about it. Imagine we just accepted that it's the cost of doing business, transactional cost. Imagine we just take it like that. Do you know what the cost may be for 2026? And going forward, before we realize this will become a big albatross on the necks of Ghanaians. And remember, the ordinary Ghanaian you watching there, you will have to pay this back. You will have to pay this back. This may mean higher taxes. It may mean cuts in some benefits. No matter what mechanism is used, we have to pay this back. So the ordinary Ghanaian be ready. You can be on social media or wherever praising or condemning the World Bank, the IMF or the Gold Board or the Bank of Ghana. But you must remember this. We will pay this back. You and I will pay this back. How we do that is up to the government.
Okay. So you minimize costs. I think that it's been very integral and then symmetrical. You look at the argument. I heard Professor Bokpin also make an argument with Evans yesterday evening as well. But overall, you want to minimize costs. And you look at what the receipts have been, 10 billion, and you make comparable argument about the prevention objectives of making sure we don't have gold gotten from our earth here, smuggled. And then you just oppose it with year on year, 400 million previously. Overall cost benefit analysis, what will be your stake? Whilst you make argument for minimizing costs, because that's very important.
Thank you very much, Roland. Let's first of all deal with this issue. Let's take your calculator and let's do a simple mathematics, and then let's put the issues
calculator.
in there.
You started this one with calculator, okay?
Yes, so that we dispel a lot of, you know, they are throwing a lot of figures out there that I don't think resonates or is in tune with what the IMF is saying. 2024, we expended how much? 400 million for what? For 11 tons of gold. You understand? So let's do simple proportions. This 1.74 billion, we are told, is as a result of sale of 104 tons of gold. So divide 104 by 11 and multiply it by 400. And let's see.
104.
Yeah, divided by 11.
By 11.
Yes. Times 400 million.
400 million.
Are you doing science and math quiz?
Yes, we are doing science.
3.7.
So under their, if you were going to go by their trajectory, you understand. Sometimes some of these people, when they are speaking, they don't even look at the data.
3.7 million.
So it means they would have expended $3.7 billion in buying 104 tons of gold. That is what we are discussing here. Now, Gold Board in 2025 is accused of having expended 1.7 billion. And that 1.7 billion was used to purchase 104 tons. This is the baseline. And this is what the minority in Parliament is saying that is a humongous cost. And I'm saying that the same IMF also references how much we expended in 2024. That in 2024, we bought only 11 tons at a cost of $400 million. So if all things being equal, we were doing the same extrapolation, it means if they were the ones who had bought 104 tons, we as a country would have expended, what did you get? $3.7 billion. How does 1.7 billion cost becomes more than 3.7 billion that they would have incurred? That is why I don't take them serious. But
they didn't incur that.
So I am telling you the baseline, you know, the data
I know
must
the extrapolations you're
exactly,
making, but they didn't-
exactly. And you see, and you see, and you see, listening to my two brothers.
His argument is that 1.7 brought in 104. And then 400
Brought in 11
brought
tons.
in only 11.
Roland, it is even warped to the extent.
What is what about
it? It is
it?
warped. I'm coming.
Please allow.
I can't believe you have
No,
not done that.
please. No. Let this discussion not degenerate.
So no, he doesn't have anything to say. I know the strategy. So the minority extrapolated their whole press conference from a selected issues paper written by Wangum Nolen. Now this is the headline: Lessons from the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program. It's not lesson from the gold board domestic purchase program. Say the Bank of Ghana's domestic purchase program. So the IMF itself acknowledges that this whole business of domestic purchase program is within the purview of the Bank of Ghana. And that it was the Bank of Ghana that gave the money for gold to be bought. So let us put it in play. So it is just disingenuous, pure propaganda to just turn it around and say it is gold boss problem. When, as a matter of fact, you know very well that it is the Bank of Ghana's issue. That's one. Number two, the World Bank itself, the IMF itself acknowledges, and let me read a paragraph for you. This is paragraph 2 or page 2. The rapid expansion of the gold, the domestic gold purchase program coincided and arguably contributed to a remarkable macroeconomic stabilization. This is the word IMF. They are telling you that as a result of what the Bank of Ghana, together with the gold board, did, it led to what? A macroeconomic stabilization of the economy. Is it in doubt? Are you in doubt about that? That as a result of what they did, your cedi to the dollar has stabilized over the period to the extent that by 2025 end year, it appreciated against the dollar to the tune of about 41% or almost 42%. Is there anything in doubt about that? By the way, what is the function of the Bank of Ghana? You go to Article 183 and we put the issues in the right perspective. The Bank of Ghana shall be the Central Bank of Ghana and shall be the only authority to issue the currency of Ghana. 2, the Bank of Ghana shall promote and maintain the stability of the currency of Ghana and direct and regulate the currency system in the interest of this country. The Bank of Ghana, all that they are supposed to do is to put in place programs and policies that would assure the stability of our currency. Has that been achieved?
I don't understand. You mean that maintaining the currency is paramount?
That is a core mandate.
And the minority doesn't like that?
No, they know it. But what else are they going to say? What else do they have to say?
So how much
when
how much?
Zato, for the 20th time, let me tell you.
Relax.
Nobody in this administration, neither was it in the MPP, can pay me for my work.
Okay.
Nobody. Look. No. Look.
We are not saying
No. I have to establish. The last time I allowed you to say it and get away with it on a sister station. Let me tell you, and I'm saying it once again. Nobody within this administration, was in your administration, can pay me. I can pay myself. For Christ's sake.
That's all. You're my friend.
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
No. Seriously, I think that it is disrespectful and
no, allow them.
For you to hail so-called accusation that you're claiming that he went to collect bribe or money to speak for the government. It's not fair. Let's be decorous to ourselves.
It is the choice. Of words of Zato.
Can he also make the argument that you also
you have been paid by
please
no, it's okay.
Aaron, he has withdrawn it.
I have heard several.
It is unfair and disrespectful.
No, but Roland,
and I think that the two of you, the way you have been accepted within the public domain so far, lends credence to the relationship.
Roland, you know why they will conclude on that? Because it's not very easy for anybody to do this, what I'm doing, and do it on a pro bono.
So you're saying you speak your mind?
I speak my mind.
Okay, please go on.
There is nothing to gain from going to take money and say and speak say something that is not truthful. It's
please
not
allow him
honorable.
to talk.
Now,
So the currency is the problem.
The currency
they are worried.
And then, what are you going to campaign with? This was a party that said that they have arrested the dollar and given the keys to the IGP. That the dollar broke the chain and we had to find it at 17 city. So
arrested.
It broke chain and started moving with the speed of light. So for them, they must do everything possible to make sure that the dollar also breaks the chain again, so that it goes beyond the 18 months. Recently, recently they were just watching the OMCs and their prices. They were praying that it would go beyond the 23 per liter. Then they just screenshot it and broadcast it. That is what my brothers are doing. And I'm saying that is not politics. You just have to go back, reorganize yourself, get cogent programs and policies, come and market it to the good people of this country. Because we will beat the NDC not on lies, but with superior policies. And I'm telling you, yes. Now, the IMF, this document that I'm holding itself, at a point, Guam Nolen himself was very confused. In one breath, he uses the term loss. In another breath, he uses the term cost. I believe that it's a cost of sale. I mean, TV3, as an entity, or media general, cannot generate revenue without incurring cost. It doesn't mean you have made a loss, especially where the outcome outweighs whatever input you put in. And that is why they safely say, here I'm reading again, that as a result of the gold bond, the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, they were able to realize 10.9 billion. Those gold bond captures is at 10.8 billion, I understand, because they run at it, the IMF ran at it. 10.9 billion was generated by expending 1.74 billion. Who will not opt for this?
Exactly.
Who will not do? Why must we even debate on this? That you expended 1.7 billion and made money to the tune of 10.9 billion, you net it for how much? One is about 1.5% of GDP. The revenue that accrued to the state was 9.5%. And you want me, because on the altar of politics, cheap politicking, come and sit here and say that.
But they say they are losses.
Look, let me quote the IMF its own. At the point
Which page?
I'm referring to page 8.
Page 8.
This IMF, this is what they rely. This is knowledge document that they have.
It's on the page of IMF. So anybody who likes, you can go and.
So this is page 8.
Page 8.
Listen to the IMF using cost. Here they are deviating from the use of the term loss. And it's under paragraph 14. You are here, you can read. Domestic gold program, purchasing program activities will be fully transferred to the gold board as of July 1st, 2026. And listen to what the IMF, those that are quoting the IMF, when they got to this portion, they decided not to read it. And
they skipped it?
They skipped it. Under a memorandum of understanding, the Bank of Ghana will fully exit the domestic gold purchase program and will no longer be exposed to its quasi-fiscal risks in the future. It will continue to play a role as gold board's fiscal agent and as a recipient of monetary gold for its reserve. All costs, listen here, they didn't use the term loss. All costs of the domestic gold purchase program will be transparently assumed by government. They didn't say all losses, because they know that it is a cost of sales. Now, these costs are expected to be brought down to 5% of gold purchase. These costs are expected to be brought down to 5% of gold purchase. Some progress, listen to the IMF that they are relying. Some progress has been made in 2026 quarter one. The IMF is saying that in spite of what they realized in 2025, there has been monumental progress in quarter one of 2026. With this cut down from 14.5% in 2025 to 11.4%. This was done notably through the halving of assay fees, service charges, and other logistical costs. The spread between the Forex Bureau rate and the reference rate has also been reduced significantly.
And this is the same IMF.
This is the same IMF. And when the minority got to this part, because they know a lot of Ghanaians do not read, but to my youth, when people say something, go and get the document and read it for yourself. It doesn't take anything.
And this is on the IMF page.
On the IMF page. And this is supposed to be the selected issues paper that they reference, that indeed Ghana expended $1.7 billion in getting 10.8 and 4. And so we must go and change the gold board and go and change the Bank of Ghana.
Why do you seem to make an overall commitment to this statement? That you look at the overall cost-benefit analysis. You say that a cost of 1.7, which of course, the IMF says could be improved, and this improving is better. And so we should continue on this policy path.
Yes. the point is that the IMF recognizes, and I just read to you, that our economy has been stabilized largely because of the domestic gold purchase program. Again, the IMF recognizes that for the first time, because the gold board came into it, I was one of those that initially criticized the gold board. I thought that the PMMC was doing the same role that the gold board was going to do. And indeed, they are doing that, but they have brought some levels of vim and vigor into that sector.
Vim and vigor.
Vim and vigor, and they are doing something that is right. Because for the first time in the history of this country, do you know in 2025, small-scale miners overtook, in terms of volumes, gold production against the large-scale miners. And the IMF itself says, and listen to what they say, they are giving us a clue, and as a country, we must, as a matter of urgency, begin to know. They tell us, the IMF tells us that the large-scale miners or mining companies in this country does not contribute a farthing to our economy. And I want to get a relevant provision for you. Maybe your time will not allow, but I'll ask, I'm going through. The World Bank, the IMF says that your Anglo Gold, your Newmont, your Gold Fields, and so on and so forth, their contribution in terms of revenue to the Ghanaian economy is not as substantial as we expect. And that the artisanal small-scale miners have contributed immensely. Now we will be the last people to be lectured by those that nearly so tall mismanage the economy of this country. We will be the last political party or individuals to accept the views of individuals that nearly sold vacuum. A precious institution. When they were in power, and they claim they relaunched, in fact, it was a relaunching of gold, domestic gold purchase, because we have been buying gold to the Bank of Ghana since time immemorial. When they launched it in 2021, in 2024, the cedi to the dollar at a point was nearly 1:17. So it means that we were doing something wrong. The IMF itself acknowledges that the gold for oil was just a top adventure that all of us were taken through. And I want to admonish.
What do you mean by chop? If there's any chop,
listen.
The Attorney General should take action.
Let me read that profit. Let me read that portion so that you say domestic gold purchase program operations have generated signal losses for the Bank of Ghana. Losses in 2024 were equivalent to almost $400 million. And let's know, 1/3 of which were related to gold for oil. That's the cost.
The 400 million.
The 400 million. They just tell you that 1/3 of it, the cost that they incurred in terms of 400, 1/3 of it was attributable to the gold for oil. And I'm saying that gold for oil, we never knew the off-takers. The question that Afenyo was asking yesterday, we did not know the off-takers, we did not know how much a dollar was being sold for. You did not know all this. You were relying on a document. So on what basis did you arrive at the figure called 1.74 billion? We got to be serious in this country. No wonder at the point somebody was yawning during the press conference.
Aaron, why is it that there seem to be extreme targets and criticism of the Gold Board CEO then, to the point that even though there's clarity that's being made by minority leader, that Gold Board criticism is about Ghana, not bitterness, so to speak?
Of course, it's about Ghana. But let me first deal with what Sulu said. He picked this document, Lessons from the Bank of Ghana's Domestic...
which is, by the way, published on the website of the...
The point over here, at one point, he mentions that it is...
No, we are holding two different documents.
Relax. Relax. I'm even going to give you the IMF document. It's the same. Relax. It's not about shouting. Relax. That same point, he, Sulu, at one point, mentioned cost. And he... on the second time, please relax. I'm speaking. Okay. On the second part, mention losses. The Honorable Ata Issa of Sanerugu sat here, spoke for about 17 minutes, pussyfooted around the subject matter. We did not vote for social studies students. I'm telling you here, we did not vote for lack of social amenities. The fact that losses happened under the MPP does not warrant you to make losses. If the MPP, the Ghanaian people were happy with how the MPP did it, they wouldn't have voted us out of power. Deal with the issue. So it is an established fact. The good people of Sanerugu are looking at you today, Honorable Ataisa, to tell you that there is a loss. You admit that there is a loss. Deal with it. The second part is that when a Ghanaian raises an issue to you, any appointee of this government, and I'm speaking specifically to the Gold Board CEO, nobody hates you. Do not insult. It is a bad training. It tells a lot about your character. You must not insult before you make your point.
You have made this point.
Relax. It is why we tell you that you have received money from the gold board. Why are you quick? Yes.
No, because
why you keep coming that? Please, are you the one who bought the airtime for? My brother.
No, Aaron, respectfully.
No, I'm coming to that.
That's subject matter. I've told you.
I did not say he has been paid. I said he has received money. It is different. It's different. Please
why
relax.
does he go and
Now
receive money?
let me proceed on the fact. Honorable Atayisa, all the conversation you mentioned over here.
Aaron, respect. No, please.
I retract. That's fine. Honorable Atayisa, all the finance jargons you termed over here, the Ghanaian people do not even believe in you. You know why? When Section 58 of the Bank of Ghana Act is saying that when the Bank of Ghana is done with their audited report account, they should forward it to the minister. You, Atayisa, went for it and did a press conference on it. You breached a whole statutory provision. The last bit, I asked him a question. That is a revolving fund. The same, can it be classified under revenue? Do you know why I asked? Roland, if you look at the 2025 budget, when Gold Board was established, at paragraph 372, and I read, it says, Mr. Speaker, we will provision a CD equivalent of $279 million as a revolving fund for the Ghana Gold Board to be able to purchase and export at least 3 tons of gold per week for small-scale miners. This amount, if you look at the appendix of the 2025 budget, is amounting to 4 billion Ghana cedis, 547 million and 700,000. You know why I asked him that? Can it be classified under revenue? He boldly said no. But if you pick the Ghana Gold Board account, you get to know that that same amount has been classified under revenue.
But that is debatable because there are.
That is why I asked him. That is why I asked him. That is why I asked him.
It is there.
I asked him. It is there. Now it is there. It is there. So open to pay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No, please.
That is why I asked him because I'm not a finance person.
Yeah.
He boldly sat on TV3 to deny that or to state clearly that.
Debatable.
Please. Stop this Gold Board rushing defense.
No.
So what is this?
Go on.
The Gold Board as an authority has a PRO. If you want to work for them, do
so you want to throw that?
No. It is why people would reasonably think that you have received some funds.
I don't have a problem.
Maybe you have not.
I don't have a problem with saying I've received funds.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes. I don't have a problem.
You've done that.
I don't have a problem.
The position we are making is very clear. Stop the social studies analysis that happened in MPP, so you are justifying same. When it happened, Dr. Zato has established them over here. You went on a demonstration, called for the heads of the leadership of BOG. Today, it is happening. And in fact, God has a very beautiful way of repeating history. When Ato Folsen was there, arrogantly speaking to the director of security that he's not going to present the said petition to him. Today, here is him. So pretending over this BOG and others. And you see, let me make this last point. Solo cites Article 183 of our Constitution. And same was invariably stated by my senior brother sitting here, that Bank of Ghana's mandate is not to be making profit. But where is it stated that Bank of Ghana, they have the mandate to be making loss? Where is it stated? It is not stated anywhere. So when the matter happens, we will speak about it clearly. Let's stop that. Last on Sami Jenfi, you should stop the insult. He can make his position without insulting. We beg of him. That is not the culture of the Ghanaian people.
Atayisa, your last words. Good policy, do we need to minimize the cost, and how do we do that?
All right. So I see, only listening to my colleagues, I get only one conclusion here, that they have not averted their minds to what was read yesterday by the minority leader. I, sitting here representing the NDC, has the right to respond to what the minority has put out. But listening to my colleagues here, they have substantially deviated from the topic. But Dr. Zato has given the indication why these continuous attacks on the Gold Board is because of what Sami Jenfi had done to them in opposition. That's basically what the sense I see. So the character assassination this morning on the person of Sami Jenfi.
He didn't insult.
I'm talking about
Aaron,
you.
Aaron, allow him. When you were talking, he also allowed.
When you were talking, I wanted to
calm down.
Calm down. Are you endorsing
so the character assassination on the person of Sami Jenfi, for me, is insignificant to the contributions that we are making this morning. Okay. This morning, what we are focused on is to make sure that what is the value of the gold purchase program under the NDC regime. And I think that just opposing it to the report that has been published by the IMF, how as a country do we need to move forward in minimizing the losses associated with the program? I think that should be the conversation. Now, this morning also, there have been selective reading of the same document we are all having. And I think that we must give respect to viewers who also have the opportunity to go online and get copies of it. We must do complete analysis of such programs. And I see some level of selective reading of the same report that Dr. Zafo is having. I'm having the same, and Solo is also having the same thing. We must do complete analysis of the issues. Now, let me come to Dr. Zato's statement that the minority in 2023 marched to the Bank of Ghana to demand the resignation of the governor and the deputies because of the losses. Dr. Zato, for you, let me just provide this education here. Look, in 2021, there was a total positive equity of Bank of Ghana of 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. You move from a positive 1.2 billion equity position to negative 55.8 billion Ghana cedis. That is a worry. And to compare that situation to now is disingenuity in the sense that how do you compare a negative equity with positive and favorable macroeconomic outcomes as compared to a negative equity with deteriorating macroeconomic performances? In 2023, we still had inflation above 30%. In 2023, exchange rate was depreciating. Fuel prices were increasing. Unemployment hovering around 14.7%. All the macroeconomic indicators were trading on a dangerous path. You don't compare that spending 55.8 billion Ghana cedis in equity position to generate such economic death as against somebody spending 35 billion Ghana cedis in equity position to generate this economic growth. You don't compare the two. And Dr. Zato keeps mentioning a force majeure in 2023. I don't think that is a complete classification of a force majeure. A force majeure happens in the economic calendar year, which is unexpected. Is that not it? COVID happened in which year?
Started from 2019 October, perfect. Then got here 2020
So let's say
March.
2020. How do you describe 2023 financial statement as a result of COVID as a force majeure when you had more than 2 years to plan in your budget? How do you describe it as a force majeure? So I think that classification is wrong. You don't classify force majeure like that. In any case, he is saying that almost all central banks across the globe made losses. But one thing he has forgotten is that not almost all the central bank generated the mess we have generated. Ghana was an outlier in the rest of the world. In Africa, Ghana became the junk economy, the only country in Africa with a junk status. We must remind you of that incompetence that you displayed. So for you to always come under the strongest pillar of this government, the gold purchase program that you took advantage of, you couldn't deliver anything. And in 1 year, somebody has mopped up excess foreign reserve, moving the reserve position of 4 months of import cover to 5 months of import cover. How many times have you heard importers crying over dollars? And I'm saying that if you look at what is going on with the gold board, Ghana is doing well. And now, look, Galamsey, Roland, this fight on Galamsey is a red herring in this conversation. And I don't think we must encourage that. You are talking about the cost of the distractions. Wait, you are talking about the cost of the distraction to the environment. Who introduced the executive instrument granting access to mining and forest reserves? Who brought it up? In fact, at the time, CSOs and University Teachers Association that you are proud of were calling for state of emergency in this country because of the deterioration of our environment. So if you are not bringing Galamsey into this conversation, I think that the legacy in this case is somebody has been convicted in this regime because of participation of Galamsey. That is a demonstration that government is willing to do to commit. No, please.
Your time is up.
No, I beg you, in a minute. SOE is dead. Wait. Okay. SOE is dead.
What are you
Under the MPP in 2024, we saw the biggest SOE's debt than any other regime in this Fourth Republic. Look, in 2024 alone, Cocoa Board had a total SOE's debt of 32 billion Ghana cedis. Yet, you are not talking about who is paying it. This 1.7 billion, government has not introduced 1 cedi of tax to clear it. Government has already made 5 billion Ghana cedis this year in 2026 to recapitalize Bank of Ghana without introducing 1 revenue measure. without even
But it's
introducing
still
one.
taxpayers' money.
No,
That's the point.
what I'm saying is that we are not burdening Ghanaians like the domestic exchange program that we saw when we were hit by economic crisis. Finally.
Hey.
No, I beg you. I beg you. Look, I beg you. My final statement. The audited financial statement of the Bank of Ghana reported a total loss of 9 billion. And I think it is consistent with the Public Financial Management Act. It is consistent with the accounting reporting standard and consistent with the laws of this country. So nobody says that the government of Ghana has made a total loss of 22 billion. The IMF themselves has stated, if you look at their IMF SIP 2026, paragraph 13, page 8, paragraph 13 of the statement says that the DGPP operation generated significant losses for Bank. It attributes the losses to a combination of service and assayers we paid to the gold board, discount on gold sold to off-takers and export, and most importantly, exchange rate losses arising from the spread between the rate used to acquire the gold and credit CD reference used for BOJ accounting purpose. What I'm trying to say is that we have been consistent as a government that part of these losses that you are seeing is not a cash loss, but an accounting loss.
Thank you. First of all, you lied when you said Wuntimu was convicted of galamsey. It's not true.
It's true.
Oh, please. It's true.
Please, allow me.
It's true.
Please,
Wuntimu
he's entitled to his
was
opinion,
not
please.
convicted of galamsey. So get your facts right.
You have 3 minutes. Sorry.
Number two. You see, I've made this point, and we must all then appreciate it. When you marched to the Bank of Ghana to say that the Bank of Ghana had made this loss and both deputies to resign, I want to stand on those legs to say that because of this loss carried by the Bank of Ghana, if you say it's the Bank of Ghana, that the governor of the Bank of Ghana, his deputies, has demonstrated gross incompetence, and that the people of Ghana has lost confidence in them, and they have no business being in power again. That they should bow their heads in shame and bow out, because if in 2023 you call for the heads of the governor of Bank of Ghana because they made a loss, the same must be applied here to say that they have also lost the confidence of people, and they should bow their heads in shame and bow out, because that is gross incompetence and mismanagement.
Right.
I want to make that point. Third, you see, I've made this again. Look, the governance analyst, Charles Lindblom, in his famous book, The Science of Muddling Through, made a point. And then we must come there. Public policies by nature, when you make them, they are not perfect. The purpose of a public policy is not perfection. But sometimes the greater good for the majority of the people. And you realize that policies get better as they are going forward. And that is what we must strive as. We must strive as saying is that when we start a policy, it may not be perfect, but as time goes on, we should try to get it perfect. That is why the Americans refer to something called towards a more perfect union. The idea is that because perfection is not the objective of government, you must always try to get it better. Gold for oil, gold for whatever we started, they were all policies. And they all metamorphosed into what we have as the gold board today. Even together with PMMC, right? They were all policies. And policies are sometimes tools or, in fact, not sometimes, tools or instruments in the hands of the government to use to govern the major point. So the objective here is that in the science of muddling through, we should try to make sure that we see how policies get increasingly and progressively better, not worse. So even if losses were made, the question then we should be talking is that competence and better management should indicate that those losses should increasingly and progressively reduce, not increase. That is what we are not seeing here. And that is my advice to the managers of both the Gold Board and the Bank of Ghana. If you want to demonstrate your managerial superiority, if you want to demonstrate that you are more competent, then begin to reduce this cost. If you don't do that, then you are not better than those who took it from and you have no business calling and understand. But it's a point he made, yes. Somebody must pay for that debt. You said it. They have no way. Their government fees and items have been increased. But that debt is there. You are the finance expert, not me. What will happen to that debt? Because somebody must pay for it. One way or the other, the taxpayer must pay for it. So if you are saying it's just sitting there, fine. Who pays for it? That person that is paying for it is probably because of this debt that the teachers and the nurses have not been employed in their city home. Thank you.
So who will pay
2
for
minutes. Sorry, you have 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes.
In sentencing Wuntimu, this was what the judge said. The court takes notice of the gravity of the offences and the need for deterrence to avert the environmental disaster that might befall the nation. The more law enforcement stays aloof and allows illegal mining activities to persist in the country. The offences in this case relate to illegal exploitation of mineral resources, which are the property of the state. The conduct of the first and the third accused persons undermines the regulatory framework for the mining sector and contributes to environmental degradation associated with illegal mining. So you cannot say that it was not committed based on illegal. Now, There is a simple saying in international business that says that you think global, you act local. Ghana must chart its own path to development. From what I glean from what the IMF has done is to give us an indication that we must not follow the usual path.
The orthodox.
The orthodox. It will not lead us anywhere. The Gold Board must, as a matter of urgency, I've seen them say that they are bringing an app that will do what we call traceability, enforce those things so that we are able to trace where the goods are coming from. Again, government interventions such as the new Cocoa Act that will prevent cocoa farmers from giving out their farms for mining must be implemented to the latter. More so, from the United Party's perspective, we are suggesting or proposing that Ghana establishes what we call the Gold Bank. That Gold Bank will be dealing with all our mineral needs. Because
that's what you advocate for.
Yes, you see, there are a lot of things that we can do with the Gold Bank. Features, forward sales, and so on and so forth. That we can accumulate a chunk of our monies to deal with our problems that we have here. All these things that we are discussing, it has become a subject matter for discussion because there is somebody by name Sami Gemfi who is occupying the position of the Gold Board. Other than that, nobody. At a point you are discussing a matter to deal with Bank of Ghana, but all the efforts or all the concentration was on Gold Board. Now they have even escalated the matter to the extent that they say, oh, before they even come to power, they will arrest you. And when we arrest you, you have to go and count
the bail conditions.
Who does that? I said, no wonder at a point, man to man, he was referring to his co-man as handsome. Handsome. You know why they didn't pass the LGBTQ? You man. A woman was standing by you. You say man.
Right.
Handsome.
Let me read some comments. Excuse me. Prince Johnson Kuma says
Roland,
that the people of Ghana are very confident in the management of the Bank of Ghana.
Let me use this opportunity to congratulate my brother for passing your bar exams. Yeah. I hope from here you go to the courtroom and practice or apply your trade there. Don't come here. Yeah.
But he's a politician. So.
This is a point of information on this. No, it is about education.
No. Prince Ghana is the only country. In my view, Gold Board is not only supporting the Bank of Ghana in stabilizing the currency, it's also helping to prevent the smuggling of gold out of the country. If new strategies are needed to reduce costs, I prefer to say costs, not losses, then that is the way to go. God bless our homeland, Ghana. And then Mama Bo of the Asogli State says that Solo says somebody was doing what during the press conference? Solo will kill us.
He was yawning.
Osei AJ in Kumewu says that it is an interesting point that the NDC seemed to be making on this panel this morning. The reality is that losses are losses, irrespective of where they appear, on whose books they appear, and how they are accounted for. Have there been losses?
There have not been any.
Simplicity.
There have not been.
Hey, you lie like that.
You are
good morning to you, Neodick. He says, please, Alistair Matthias and Al Jazeera says hi. Good morning to the minority group and the former
president. You remember
president.
Alistair Matthias?
Yeah, document.
He was doing connection with President Kufuor.
The whole
I'll be called to the bathroom.
Mr. Klug says the whole cry by Mr. Apenyo Maki and his minority group of a Gold Board allegedly selling gold at a loss looks more like a deliberate attempt to paint Sami Gemfi black. That is the reality, and nobody should shy away from. Money watching us from the UK. Dr. Zato said they made a loss to save the economy. And the MPP's Bank of Ghana made a loss to destroy the economy. Is that the connotation?
Yes, I didn't say that's what you said. I didn't say that. You said it.
No, it's just a comment. It's just a comment. It's just a comment.
You are lying on me. You are lying on me. You are lying on me.
Please, Richard Sechi, good morning to you. Richmond Sechi says, always bring Dr. Zato and Solo every day. They make Wednesday mornings very great. Forget about Obia. And then Richard Kumado says, what we are busy calling losses is simply the cost of operationalizing the specific initiative. Simply put, operational costs and not necessarily a loss. All right. Moses says, cost-benefit analysis is a method used to compare the total cost and expected benefit of a decision. project or policy.
But for MPP's time,
Its main goal is to help people and businesses figure out if an action is worth doing. Gentlemen, Moses, thank you for the message. Alhaji Mohammed, good morning to you, says that I'm not supporting the idea of anybody insulting the Honorable Apenyo Markin. If true, but it also holds true that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Instead of the MPP man blaming Sami Jemfi for insulting Ape, he should rather advise his leader from insulting people in his press conferences. Oh. And then Ejay Boating says that so far you look at the subject matter and you have to say that Sami Jemfi is under fire, and that is why he's running away. And the Edemagle says the MPP in Zato is now showing in this debate. Good morning to all of you. Aaron Brasso, good morning to you as well.
And you're welcome back here watching TV3 Newday. It's now time for sports. And the man trending in Kpeshie for all the right reasons, Mutala, is here with us. Mutala, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. You know you're trending on all the Kpeshie blogs.
You told me. I went on TikTok to check and I saw a few videos. I was like, hey, these people, they've taken this in serious.
This year we're going all out and we're expecting you. Mutala, you have to come over.
But I love the fact that they are appreciative when you want to toe their line and actually tap into their culture and get to know more. Because the comments I saw were all positive comments about how happy they are that others are trying to get to know and understand what actually happens with the homo and other stuff.
In Kpeshie. But you have to come for Kpeshie.
Wow.
I have a special Kpeshie We Day t-shirt for you. I'll bring it to you.
I will try and come. I will try and come.
Anyway, so I hear Yadom have a new coach.
Yes, they have a new coach. We'll get into that. But Goldfields, as you know, has a message for Ghanaians. They say champions are not made on match day. They are shaped by belief, opportunity, and the support of those who stand beside them every step of the way. As football takes center stage around the world, Goldfields proudly continues its more than 2 decades of support for Ghana football, backing your national teams and helping grow the game. Go Black Queens, Goldfields champion in women's football and inclusion, creating enduring value beyond mining. Yes, Asante Kotoko do have a new coach, Eric Tinkler. He's from South Africa. This is actually the first time he's working outside South Africa.
Okay.
He says he's coming. He's seen that the conditions here are quite different from what he's known to in South Africa, but he's hopeful that things will turn around shortly. Yesterday, they played a friendly game at the University of Ghana Park, and he says that, yes, he's in. He has a lot of work to do, but his main target is to win the Ghana Premier League.
I think we have the material to compete for the league. That's important, you know. Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, reality is in football, especially you're dealing with human beings. You're not dealing with a product. You know, and those human beings have personalities, have characters, have good days, bad days, and we have to deal with that and hopefully get the best out of them come the end of the season.
Coach, your first season in the Ghana Premier League.
The target is to finish in the top 2. That's the target. I didn't come here to just earn a salary. I came here to win things. That's the most important thing. I came here to win things. I came here to achieve things. I've achieved things in my coaching career and I want to continue achieving. I'm a very ambitious person, so yeah, you're going to see me like you saw me today. I'll be it's my passion and my desire to want to achieve and win things.
Coach, you are coming to work for a club who have very passionate fans. Maybe.
And he says he's here to win with Kwasa Asante Kotoko. Next joke, please.
Not a joke.
Next joke, please.
Not a joke. He's actually serious. He says that he's cleared. He said there was a culture of indiscipline at the club when he arrived, but he's been able to clear that one. And now there's a leeway for Kotoko to just pass through and win the league. And that is what he's hoping for.
So he's the one who's coming to make Kotoko win.
Because for the past
When was the last time Kotoko won the league?
It's been like 3 years now. It was 2023 under Prosper Nati Ogum. Since then, they've not been able to win the league. But the South Africans
have they even been second on the table since then?
Yeah, no, they've not been. And
it was a flash in the pan.
But he is from South Africa and says that he is coming to win the league for Kotoko.
That's what he says?
Yeah, that's what he says.
Okay. Well, we wish him all the very best.
Let's move from Kotoko.
Let's come to Accra Hearts of Oak. The ban has been lifted.
So, this is it. Now, Accra Hearts of Oak can sign players for this season. Last season, they were prevented from signing players because there was a ban imposed on them by FIFA, a transfer ban. It is due, when we go to the backstory, it's because Accra Hearts of Oak were owing their former technical director, Rene Hidink, some $140,000 for some 2 seasons ago. Rene Hidink took them to FIFA. Hearts of Oak were given 90 days to pay the money. They failed to pay, and FIFA imposed a ban on them. Now they've settled that debt of 100. Yeah, they've settled that debt of $140,000. So once that debt has been settled, FIFA says that Hearts of Oak can now sign players, and it opens up for their new coach, the Borja couple, to bring in a few players. They've started negotiating, having conversation with some players who would be joining the club. Now, Richard Kingston Olele is their goalkeepers trainer, so he's working quite close with Benjamin Asari, and Hearts of Oak in the next couple of days should be able to announce some new additions, because on the 28th they would come up against Asante Kotoko at the Barbara Sports Stadium in the Democracy Cup. So the latest is that Hearts of Oak can now sign players.
All right, that's good news for us, and we wish the club all the very best, and we're glad that, you know, now we have the resources to be able to pay our debts and forge on.
Well, let's see what Toby comes up with.
It's well. Yeah. It's well with us.
Yeah.
Phobia.
Yeah, but you have a lot of love among the Hearts of Oak fans. I mean, I've seen some of the supporters always extending their greetings to you and all that. I'm sure you meet Toby soon.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, because you're a big Hearts of Oak supporter.
I am, with all my heart. Yeah. With all my heart. All right, let's go on to Dwarfs.
Yeah, Obuasi, Division 1 Super Cup. It's an annual tournament that is played after the season ends. The best teams in Division 1, or the teams that did well in Division 1, come together to compete. This time, Ebusuan Dwarfs won it yesterday after drawing with Koforidua Semperfi 1-1. Then Dwarfs went on to win in penalties by 5 goals to 4. There you have it. Semperfi missing a penalty, and Dwarfs had the opportunity of scoring and taking the lead. So Dwarfs are the latest champions when it comes to the Division 1 Super Cup, and we have a report on what happened in Obuasi.
Busan Dwarfs crowned the memorable X1 Energy Drink Division 1 League Super Cup campaign by lifting the trophy in Obuasi. Both sides battled fiercely in a closely contested final, with the scores level at 1-1 after 90 minutes. The title was therefore decided from the spot, where Dwarfs proved more composed, converting 5 penalties to beat Sympathy 5-4 and claim the trophy. It was one Dwarfs coach, John Eduafo, praised his players for their fighting spirits after the final whistle.
It has to do with the players' commitment, determination, and tactical discipline. And I think that has brought us to this far. Focus and concentration. I think we are here. And finally, we have won the trophy.
Semperfi, who had reached the final without conceding a goal in the group stage, finished runners-up after an impressive run to the final. Their head coach, Christian Mafakoto, ruled his sides missed chances.
To create a lot of chances like we have been doing. And we did create a lot of chances, especially in the first half. And we concluded the same way that I wish we wouldn't have. And we didn't take those chances. And I think we know what our issues are. That's the main thing. That's what this pre-season tournament is for. To see what our problems are and see how we can find solutions before the league starts. So as for me today, I'm happy with the performance, but we fell a bit short because we didn't really resolve the issues we've been having all tournament.
Earlier in the day, Ashram Davis secured 3rd place after edging Sopon Fidelity 1-0 in the 3rd place playoff. Sponsors of this year's event, Ocean International Limited, promised to invest more into football and other local sporting activities in the country after a successful week-long tournament in Obuasi.
Probably more sponsorships in the football community and even aside football, because I mean it's energy drink, it's a solid brand, and there are more things we can achieve outside football, athletics or sports. So in future, I'm sure when we get there, we'll all see.
All right, congratulations to Busan Dwarfs there, and I can't help but appreciate, you know.
You admire the name.
I appreciate the name, yeah.
Ebusuan Dwarfs.
There are some interesting names in Ghana.
Ebusuan Dwarfs, 11 Wise, 11 Wonders, Young Apostles.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
Very interesting names. You should do a feature on how these clubs are named. I'm sure there are stories behind it. Because obviously you can appreciate Accra Hearts of Oak.
Really?
Our hearts are made of
oak. Okay.
You know, it tells of our strength and resilience. You can appreciate Asante Kotoko as well. Kumasi Asante Kotoko. You can appreciate, but the Apim, no, is the Apim part.
No, it's not that.
If you kill plantain,
it's actually a mantra.
All right, plantain.
That's their mantra.
I know, but for the longest time, I thought it was all right, plantain.
No. Apim means 1,000. If you kill 1,000,
now I know.
Another 1,000, yeah.
But for people who, because Apim is also plantain.
Yeah, right? It's also plantain.
So for the longest, I was like, this plantain thing.
No, Apim means 1,000.
So I appreciate that now.
Yeah.
So Kumasi Asante Kotoko, that's nice.
Yeah.
Accra Hearts of Oak, that's nice.
Great Olympics.
Mediama FC.
Yeah.
You know,
Mediema is actually an Zima word, which means my siblings. When you go there, the folks there call it Mediema. They don't say Mediema, they say Mediema.
Yes, that's one club I really admire. I appreciate their moves. They don't talk too much, but they are top of the table. You know, they don't talk too much. They don't brag like the rest of us. But you know, they do the work and
now they have a very strong communication team. Benjamin Willie Graham is the one man in their communications team at the moment.
And their communication is all streamlined.
Yeah, streamlined.
You know,
very professional.
I appreciate it. We have something to learn,
of course,
from them. Anyway, let's go on to more news.
Let's go on to Senegal because they have made a very, very big appointment to their national team. The Teranga Lions of Senegal now have a new coach, Patrick Vieira, the former French international who won the World Cup in 1998 with France, is now the head coach of Senegal, taking over from Papi Thiaw, who led them to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It's a big, big appointment for Vieira, who's never been with any national team, even though he's had stints with club football, with Strasbourg, with Crystal Palace. He went to the USA as well. This time he's taking over his first national team job, and it's outside Europe. He's coming to Africa to take over Senegal. We'll be working with the likes of Sadio Mane, and it's a big, big one for him. So that is the latest. Senegal have appointed Patrick Vieira as their new head coach. Well, let's finish off now with some news coming from Barcelona. Finally, they have gotten their wish. They've completed the move for Rodrigo Cascante from Manchester City, paying around £65.4 million for the 30-year-old midfielder, who is also a Ballon d'Or winner, won the World Cup with Spain, one of the best midfielders in the world. And now he's moved to Barcelona, going back to his native Spain. He did great with Manchester City, spent some 7 years there, won some honors with them, won the UEFA Champions League, won 4 Premier League titles as well, won 2 FA Cup, FIFA Club World Cup. He won 1 UEFA Super Cup as well. Then with the national team, we all know his achievements. He won the World Cup this year with Spain. He also won the European Championship and has also won the UEFA Nations League. 30-year-old Rodri, 1 Ballon d'Or, 1 FIFA Golden Ball, and 1 Euro Player of the Year as well. So Rodri has done quite good for himself and is now moved to Barcelona in a transfer that could rise to around £75 million. But now Barcelona would have to cough up £65.4 million to get his services. That is a lot of money, but not a lot of money.
Who does this 30 million go to?
It goes straight to the club.
Does he get some?
No.
Zero?
Zero. It depends on the only thing he could get is a signing on fee, but the 65.4 million goes straight to your club. That is
zero.
Zero, because the club pays your salary.
Hey, so what if he says he won't go?
If he says he won't go, he stays. Not at all.
So the club makes no money?
The club makes no money.
So what's the incentive for him to say, okay, I'm going?
The incentive is a salary increment. The lure of the club that he wants to play for Barcelona is a big team. And also the fact that he may get a big signing on fee. But if he says he won't go, he stays. But the money goes straight to the coffers of the club. That is why teams are making huge money.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Mutala, for bringing us the news today. I'll see you in Kpeshie on 30th August for Kpeshie.
Of course, I have to be there.
All right. All right, that's it for sports this morning. If you cashed out with us, let's see who our first winner will be for today. The number to dial was *439#. This is our first draw for the morning. If your number is 0246-055****, here we go. You are our first winner for the morning. Please check your Momo balance. You received 500 Ghana cedis. I've got an additional 1,000 to give away to 2 of you, so stay with us. Or you can play now. Dial *439#. You're watching TV3 Newday. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to TV3 Newday. Let's get into some nice, beautiful humanitarian conversation because today, the 19th of August 2026, is World Humanitarian Day. Now, this year's World Humanitarian Day comes at a time when humanitarian needs are becoming increasingly very complex, from climate-related shocks and food insecurity to displacement and security across the sub-region. Communities face multiple interconnected challenges. World Vision Ghana believes the strongest response is one that prepares communities before crisis strikes, responds effectively when emergencies occur, and empowers people to build back stronger. And that's why this morning I've got two guests with us. Samuel Malu, Humanitarian and Emergency Affairs Manager at World Vision Ghana, as well as Perpetua Yenchua Diabene, I love her name so much, Project Manager, the Border Project. She'll be explaining all of that to us in no time. But it's good to have you guys in studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what, do I say Happy World Humanitarian Day?
Yes.
I can say that,
yes,
right?
You can.
Okay. So it's every 19th of August, every year.
Yes.
That's the day that we celebrate World Humanitarian Day.
Yes.
Have we done anything today, anything special to commemorate today?
Yeah, so for today we have we've done more of use social media to post a lot of things about the day. We've also engaged our staff this morning just to sensitize and conscientize our teams, just to commemorate the day, and also just some form of recognition to some of the outstanding teams and the work that they've been doing. And it's also a day we've also tried to offer prayer for, those that are working, especially in very turbulent contexts, and then also just remembering the fallen heroes, those that have died in the course of duty in terms of the humanitarian work.
May they continue to rest in the bosom of our Lord.
Amen.
Anyway, let's get into the conversation this morning. When we are talking about World Humanitarian Day, of course, Ghana is part of it, but we want to clearly understand where we stand as a country when it comes to this very topic and what we're also doing with vulnerable communities. I think I'll start with you, Samuel.
Thank you. For this year's theme, really highlights a lot and can really project us as Ghana where we stand. If we look at the theme for this year, we are actually talking about, looking at the global picture, the work of humanitarians globally, and also empowering local communities. In fact, why that call? Because increasingly a lot of the humanitarian workers are being targeted in responses. People are there to support, give life, but rather become victims. There've been increase in fatalities among humanitarian workers over the years. And so this year's theme is a call for action to protect people who are trying to sort of give hope to the vulnerable people. And why the local communities? I think that they have a key role, to support and build them. Like we rightly said in the introduction, it's always good to build community capacities and resilience, rather than waiting till the emergency strike, then we go in to respond. And so I think it's in the right call, and we in Ghana should begin to look at that and waking up to see how do we respond to some of the situations that we have, especially along our borders, strengthening the communities along our borders, building their resilience by giving them adequate information and helping them to prepare themselves against any eventuality. I think it's in the right direction, and as a country, we should be having those conversations during this period.
Right. And just like you said, Ghana is not an island. We are not alone. We are surrounded by other countries who are facing a lot of insecurities and all. I mean, you come from up north, and close up north, very close to our borders, we see what's going on. What are you doing to make sure that this type of insecurity that we are seeing around us does not affect us? And if it's affecting us, what are you doing about it?
Well, continues for us as an organization. World Vision is an organization. As one of our core values, we are responsive, and we've been really on the ground working with our UN partners, especially the UNHCR, and then with government. And then for government is the Ghana Refugee Board that's actually representing the government. And you know, in the Sahel, Burkina in particular, a lot of their people moved in. And it's from 2023, we've been in the Upper East and in the Upper West corridors where we are working with these partners. And one of the things that we are doing is, one, to really build the resilience levels of these communities. Okay. And that's why I think this year's theme is really appropriate, because we had projects with World Food Program, and where we had to target some communities in terms of who were hosting these refugees. And we saw that there was a lot of stress on some of those communities. For World Vision, again, some of the things that we are looking is, again, the social services like water. So some of these communities had, maybe hitherto you had about 1,000 people in a community and you had a single borehole.
Right.
It could work for you. But if you now have over 2,000 people in the same community, there will be pressure. And that is also some of the things that we are looking at, providing more safe water, upgrading and working on some of the schools and health facilities, and then working with government to ensure that we are adequately well prepared enough to receive more people people moving. And then looking at the climate issues as well as the insecurity in Burkina Faso. On a daily basis, you see more people coming in. And it's just wise that we continue to work along and try to see how best we can be able to contain the situation.
Okay.
Then finally, the other thing is also the community education and sensitization. Because as people come in, you might not know who are the criminals. So it's good to always also sensitize communities. I think last month we celebrated the World Refugee Day. I think it was dedicated for that. We had a stakeholder engagement with the partners in the Upper East region, in Bolga to be precise. And it was a day that we actually have to look at the insecurity situation in Burkina Faso and its impact on Upper East and Upper West. And what can we be doing as stakeholders? In fact, we had a whole day's conversation on that. And then some actions were being taken out of those meetings. And some of the things that we are following up to see how best we can continue to sensitize and engage communities.
We hope we get very, very positive outcomes from that engagement. I'll come to you, Perpetual, now. I see here that there is a border project.
Yes.
And not broader, but border.
Border.
Explain that to us. The vision, what you seek to achieve at the end of the day with the border project.
Thank you very much. The border project, short for building opportunities, resilience, infrastructure development, ecosystems, and social cohesion for refugees and host communities. This is an initiative funded by the government of Germany through the Patriot Foundation and implemented by World Vision and one local partner called Raised Ghana.
Okay.
We are in 6 communities and 2 refugee settlements across the Upper East and Upper West regions. In Upper West region, we are in the Sisala West district, where we partner with the district assembly to work in the Zini community, Fielmo community, and the Zini refugee camp.
Okay.
When we come to Upper East region, we are in 2 districts, Boko West and Binduri districts.
Okay.
In Boko West, we work in Tarikum community, Tarikum refugee camp, and Yarigu community.
Okay.
And finally, in Binduri, we work in Bansi and Isa Katinga communities.
Okay.
These are communities, these are border communities in our country, and they are hosting the Burkinabe refugees who are fleeing armed conflicts and extremist violence in their country. So what is the border project doing? The border project is responding to critical humanitarian needs.
Okay, so
as we know with displacement, recently we had the floods in Accra.
Right.
What are the critical things people need when situations like this occur?
Okay.
They need some social infrastructure. First is water. So the border project is providing safe water.
Water. Okay.
Sanitation, decent sanitation. we are also creating livelihood opportunities and also strengthening peace building and social cohesion efforts. You know, once people are living together, there's the tendency that disputes would erupt here and there. We need to put mechanisms in place to quickly resolve such issues before they escalate. So these are some of the critical
that the border
needs
project,
the border project
does.
But
I'm sure you have so many examples of what you've been able to achieve.
Yes.
Is there one particular story that you may want to share with us so we know what the border project has been able to achieve?
Absolutely. So, like my colleague said, you know, in 2023, when the Burkina crisis came and refugees came into Ghana, we had our host communities who I would say were the first responders.
Yeah.
Before government, before donors came in, we had our communities receiving our brothers and sisters from Burkina. These are people who had traveled long distances. Some are women, pregnant women, the aged, nursing mothers. You know, it's not easy walking from your country through the bushes and entering into Ghana. You arrive tired with nowhere to sleep. And in fact, I think that we must commend our leaders and our communities who first received them because they shared their space with them, their food with them, their water with them before government could even come in and support. This is humanity. This is what we are talking about.
But how did World Vision ensure the safety and security of these host communities during that period? Did you give them special training? What did you do, or what have you been able to do?
That was the emergency period. You know, in emergencies, you have to respond quickly. But after responding, what do you do? Humanitarian work is not just about responding to emergencies. It's also building the people's resilience to respond to shocks such as this. So that, in fact, that is why the border project was birthed. After the emergency, what happens? People have come. The Burkinabés are predominantly farmers. Our host communities are also predominantly farmers. How do we support them? One of the ways the border project is doing that is provision of safe water. In fact, if you go to the Zini refugee camp and the Tarikum refugee camp, we have installed solar mechanized water systems for refugees. They now have access to clean water. One refugee woman said, even in Burkina, we didn't have the water close to us as this. Now we have safe water. And that means that this woman has time to look after her family, her children, the children of school-going age. They spend less time looking for water. They are able to go to school. Healthcare facilities. They have access to water to deliver quality healthcare. These are some of the social interventions. We are also giving out livelihood opportunities, creating livelihood opportunities. How are we doing this? I mentioned that the people are farmers. We know the rainfall pattern in the northern Ghana. One rainfall season, and then that's it. They wait for about 7 months before the rains come again. With this project, we are installing irrigation infrastructure so that they can farm all year round. And we are also equipping them with climate-smart techniques to help them respond to some of these shocks. They have vulnerable people amongst them too, so it's not just the irrigation aspects. We are also working with vulnerable families and households. There are interventions like the Savings for Transformation groups and also small ruminants rearing, which help to equip households and strengthen their income levels and also improve nutrition. In terms of natural resource management.
You guys are doing a lot. Oh, wow. I see.
You know, we said that there's competition over water, land, and so we in that aspect, we are also helping to improve the management of natural resources.
Well done.
We are creating CREMES, community resource managed areas. So that conflicts over water and land will be reduced.
Congratulations on all that you've been able to do. But in conclusion, what would you like government or even people watching you this morning to know about the humanitarian situation in Ghana? That one thing that you want government and the rest of us to know. Should I come to you, Samuel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, one thing I want us to know is to pay attention, close attention to, especially the Burkina Faso border, strengthen the response mechanisms around the border. Our security surveillance should be strengthened so that we are able to really do a lot of good work to sieve the criminals out of those who genuinely need help.
Right.
Otherwise, the picture in Burkina is quite not the best. It's gloomy. If you look at the latest humanitarian report for the last quarter, you are talking of internal displacement within Burkina alone over 2 million. And so if this coupled with these climate shocks and others, it's anticipated that you will have more of the people moving either into Côte d'Ivoire, into Mali, or into Ghana. Now you see the situation in Mali is not the best. So Mali will not be a preferred destination. So a preferred destination will definitely be Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. So what does that tell us? We should be more prepared and to be able to, receive these people and also to make sure that the criminals are not taking advantage.
Right.
I think that is one thing I would want us, as we celebrate this day, government should strengthen more of the surveillance along our borders. In fact, a few weeks ago, we were with the customs in the training, and I think they expressed that one of the key challenges they have is in terms of monitoring of our borders. So I think that is something we should all pay attention to.
Okay. Thank you for bringing all these to our attention, and congratulations on all that you have achieved. Hopefully next year, by this time when we sit again, we'll have better results with all that we are injecting into the World Vision Ghana's project. Thank you very much, Samuel Malu, Humanitarian and Emergency Affairs Manager, World Vision Ghana, and Perpetual Yerinchua Diabene, Project Manager, the Border Project. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Now, if you already dialed *439# and you've played as many times as possible, then it is time for you to win 500 Ghana cedis. So we'll get onto the dashboard and see how many of you have won or are going to win right now. But cheers to a new day of amazing opportunities. Stop disinformation and misinformation. Says e-copies of Daily Graphic, Graphic Business, The Mirror, Junior Graphic, Graphic Sports, and Graphic Showbiz on the go everywhere you are. Download the Graphic News Plus app and subscribe now. Enjoy a great day from Graphic. Now, Coco, let's see what's happening on the dashboard before we get into birthdays now. Let's see what's happening on the dashboard. Okay. All right. 0546 409. 3 numbers come after that. You've just won 500 Ghana cedis, and that should be reflecting in your Momo wallet at this very, very moment. Congratulations to you. Coco, is this the second winner of the day or the third winner? This is the second winner, so we have one more to go, right? Okay, so we'll just get into birthdays quickly, and then we'll get into the third winner for the morning. Beatrice Edu is here. Let's get into birthdays now.
Yes. Aha, Melody Abena Pesi of Bullet TV. May your new...
Melody Abena Pesi, Bullet TV. May your new age come with loads and loads of blessings. Okay, now let's move on to Dr. Vance Gariba.
That's my friend.
Oh, yes, your friend. Okay,
it was
good.
yesterday, right?
Yeah, but it was today apparently.
Oh, the birthday is today.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Commissioner General for Research and Planning at the National Police Headquarters.
Happy birthday to you, Doc.
Joyce Abena Eniniwa Anamebwa. Yes, branch manager, Weja Branch Omni Basic Bank. Happy birthday to you. Okay. Let's also now celebrate Mr. David Modo. of Lancaster Hospital. Hey, did I say hospital? Hotel. Forgive me. Happy birthday to you, sir. Be blessed. It's from Eric here at TV3. Okay. Georgette Adobia Ewuku. This is from your father, Mr. Ewuku, to you. Hey, daddy loves you. Wow, that's nice. Okay. Let's move on to celebrate Evans Ibn Samba. God bless you from your friends and your family members. Okay. Now also is the birthday of Mrs. Bernice Eresi Owusu Bafo, a.k.a. Mamines. Wow. Okay, Mamines. And then it's your birthday. It's no panier. Okay. Delzy of Accra, God bless you, is from Roland. Yeah. It's from Roland, Philippine, and the family. Photo shoot. I
love it. It's so
the photo shoot is not Izzle at all. Delzy of Accra, God bless you so much. All right. Senye Jom, Desire, Akangla, FAA now. Yes.
Wow.
And also the birthday of Mabel Damesi. Happy birthday, Mabel. Okay. Fumado Paulina from your sister Christabel. Okay.
Portia Ahen from Joshua, happy birthday. Also going out to Marian Davies. God bless you. That's from Ellie. Happy birthday
Lady
to
in
you.
red.
Yeah. Annie Efwam Pofu. Annie.
Where am I?
From Selikem here at Reader Journal, going out to you, Annie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Seroy, happy birthday to you from Sechua and Diana to you. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Long life and prosperity. God bless you, sir. Cecilia Fafa from APL wishes you well today. Happy birthday, Cecilia. I love the hair.
Auntie Cici.
Beautiful Lori.
Hey.
That's Ramite. Happy birthday from Sewa going out to you, beautiful Lori.
They've added beautiful to Lori.
I'm telling you.
Auntie Mavis, Anane. God bless you, Auntie Mavis. God bless you. Happy birthday. Owusu Ansa Victor. God bless you, little one. From your mommy, Queen Mother of Mafi Adidome.
Mafi Adidome.
Going out to you, Mafi Adidome. All right.
Wow.
All right.
I think that's the last one
birthday.
for today,
Yes,
right?
that's it for birthdays today.
Tomorrow morning, God willing, at 6 a.m., we will be back here. Same place, same TV station, same channel. Do not flip it. You are not going anywhere until we are back tomorrow. I am Cookie T, and today I did this with...
My name is Kpeshie Lagoon.
My name is Nasha, and Roland Walker was here with us.
Yes, so...
Enjoy the rest of the
Jesus
day.
of the daughters.
And the rest of our shows. Goodbye.